Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Podcast. I hope you can hear me and hear me well. I am your humble host and servant, Marcellus McMillan. I'm grateful that you are with me on tonight. I want you all to hit the like button if you have not yet done so. This is going to be a good conversation, I think, tonight. This is going to be for the grown-ups. I want to deal with the grown-ups tonight. I don't want to deal with the children tonight. And so I need for everybody to please hit the like button. Okay. Thank y'all so very, very much. Now let's go here just for a moment. Tonight's show, of course, we're going to be dealing with Shannon Sharpe. We're going to be talking a little bit about Thomas Dexter Jakes, better known as TD Jakes. And we're also going to be dealing with the vlogger, Dr. Scrotum Sniffer, better known as Larry Reid. I'm going to be dealing with these hot topics, and we're going to open these up for discussion. Shout out to all of you guys that are in the chat with me on tonight. Sharon T. Leonard, thank you. Uncle Fred, thank you. God is Agape Love, thank you. Lovely Blueprint. Dion, what's up to you, Dion? Thank you for being here with me. Christine Parks, thank you all so much for the purple hearts. I appreciate every one of you putting the purple hearts in the chat. Thank you, and I do feel the love. What's up, Rodney? Good to have you here with us. Tracy Jackson, good to have you here with us as well. Daryl Moore, Kashara, just being me. I think I said that. Jesus, good to have you with us. Rodney, let me see here. Who did I miss? Beauty for Ashes. CC, good to have you here. Moni, no love. Good to have you here. And thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate that. To all of you guys that are here. Misha Williams, thank you. Sugar Love, thank y'all here. Thank y'all for being here. Tracy E, thank y'all. I really do appreciate it. Tonight is gonna be a unique situation. I apologize. I don't know. I got my sinuses are starting to kick in here. But I just wanted to come live. I was going to come live to you in the chat earlier in the private group, but I just decided I would just wait and have this conversation out in the public because I really don't care who hears, who knows, whatever. I'm doing whatever I need to do for me in this particular point in time. All right, we got that. Get out of that. So let me just change this. I want to let you know, if you are not a subscriber and you're coming by this channel, if you would do me the awesome favor of hitting the subscribe button, that would be very beneficial to us. If you are a supporter of the Mad Church Disease program, I want you to know that the Cash App information is on your screen. I do ask that at least 10 of you guys give at least $10 tonight to help us meet our goal and our budget. Over the last couple of days, we kind of been teeter-tottering on the mark, but I want to hit the mark tonight. So if you guys can definitely do that, I would really appreciate it. Let me just send some shout outs to some people. Kevin Moore, Kevin actually had given, but he didn't use Cash App, and so I wasn't able to see that the other night, and I apologize, Kevin, for not recognizing you the other night and not realizing that you had done that. Let me also send a shout out. You must have did that late last night. Gail, Gail also gave last night as well, and I don't know if I acknowledge it. Okay. Gerald also gave, and believe it or not, Gerald told me in this text message, Daryl, I'm supposed to split it with you, so I forgot to send you half of what Gerald sent me. So Daryl, you got a Cash App coming on your way. If you're watching, I just read this, so I didn't even see it until now. Tracy, thank you so very much for supporting the show on tonight. I really do appreciate it. And I thank you guys for supporting our program. I really do. All right, so let me get this off the screen. I got a couple of things to tell you. You guys go over and subscribe to the Mad Church Disease newsletter. I will keep you up to date on when we're going live and all of the things that we're going to be doing, because I'm going to be doing some private members only lives where you guys can actually come up on the screen, and it's just for the members. I definitely want to do more of those because I have so many things that I want to tell you guys, and I have so much stuff. Now, next month is going to be off the chain, and I know I'm probably going to be dragged through the mud next month on this here internet, but it is what it is. I get dragged through the mud every day. on the internet. So it is what it is. So thank y'all. And you can also sign up for the text club as well. Once we meet our budget, I'll be working on setting up our text club stuff. Shout out to Tasha Global for being here. Old School Heart, thank you so much. And I just got finished eating Old School Heart, so I'm with you on that. I still got something. If I get hungry later, I can go down there and eat, but that is really filling, so I'm probably not going to eat that today at all. But I really do appreciate you guys being with me on today. Yeah, I know Daryl is already into it. I know we were called roaches. That's what I heard. And let me tell you something. I am so grateful to be a vlogging roach and a slop bucket vlogger. Let me just tell you, because I am able to stand and talk about subjects and individuals who have such a lack of integrity that it is almost astounding. I do understand people don't like me, and I'm okay with that. I've not always been liked, and you will understand in a minute when we get ready to have this deeper conversation. But we're definitely going to have that conversation in a moment. Now, I do want to thank every single one of you, like I said, for joining me on the podcast today, because we do a lot of work on these podcasts, and we want to make sure that you guys are getting good information and things are going according to plan. Now, I want you guys to take this opportunity. If you are here, for the over 200 of you that are watching me currently, if you guys can go ahead and hit the like button. We're going to go ahead and get started with our show in just a moment, but I want you guys to make sure that you hit the like button, and we'll get off to talking about Bishop T.D. Jakes. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bishop T.D. Jakes today has turned over and shared with the world his long-held plans for the purposeful evolution, as he says at the Potter's House, and their global missions and global ministry. I'm going to talk about this, and I've got some friends who have been texting me all day talking about this and making their comments about T.D. Jakes. I have to say a couple of things here. Let me say this. For those of you that have followed me all the way back into my Church Folk Revolution days, you guys know how we feel about a lot of these televangelists and a lot of these pastors and preachers in America. My feelings remain the same as it relates to the nature of how these preachers are conducting their business in America, and how sometimes I feel like we as the believers are too hooked up to the IV of church, and we are not doing what's necessary in order for us to do what we need to do in order to support our own lives and our own ministries. All right. I don't know who is all these people texting me. Why does everybody text me when I go live? Okay, you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to turn this off because this is distracting. So let me just go and turn this off. Let's turn it off. All right. Sorry, you all. So my thoughts are pretty much the same. Many of you that followed me way back in the Church Folk Revolution days, you guys remember we interviewed Dr. Frank Viola. Dr. Frank Viola is the one that has written several books and One of the books is called Reimagining Church. The other book he wrote is called Pagan Christianity. And that book was written by two Christians, by the way, George Barna, who owns the Barna Group, and Frank Viola got together and actually wrote Pagan Christianity. Now, if you have never read Pagan Christianity, I'm going to advise you that is the first book you need to read to help you be able to detox yourself from mad church disease and get a better understanding that a lot of the practices and things that we have going on in the institutional church are pagan. And he's going to talk to you and explain to you some of those things. But for the sake of this program, I want you to understand something. Dr. Frank Viola said in his book and in the interview that we did with him, he said most Christians who remove themselves from the institutional church go through 5 stages. And one of those stages is anger. Okay. And some of us stay in the angry stage far too long. And we get other people, we get upset with other people who have moved past their anger stage and who are in their intellect and they're in their planning stage on how they're going to influence and how they're going to share the gospel of Jesus Christ and really be able to influence people in a greater dimension. When I come on this program and I talk to you guys about Jesus plus nothing equals everything, it's not a slogan for me. It's something for me to try to get to jar you into understanding that your relationship with Jesus plus nothing else is enough for you to live a successful Christian life. It is a foreign concept to many of you to think that you can live a successful life without being hooked up to the IV of institutions and hooked up to the IV of an individual or whatever. But Bishop T.D. Jakes today decided that it was time for him to lay down his sword and shield. He's still going to be fighting, but he's just going to be fighting in a different level and on a different dimension. For those of us that have crossed past our 30s, our 40s, and you're now entering into your 50s, you know that sometimes your steps get a little unsure. Sometimes your memory is not as astute. Sometimes you'll walk into a room and you forget why you walked in there. You understand that there's a life transition that happens to you, and that sometimes it can become unnerving. It can become scary. And I heard an athlete the other day, I forget her name. She's been going all over TikTok. She was talking about today was a really hard day for her because she recognized the fact that she was getting older and the things that she could do back in the day, she could no longer do. And she was literally crying. And she was saying, she didn't want people to feel sorry for her, but she just wanted to acknowledge her feelings and the space and sit in the space in the place where she's at. When it comes to the institutional church and when it comes to Bishop Jakes, I want you to hear me very well. And I want it to be understood so nobody can pretend like they didn't understand what I said. I have issues, a lot of issues with T.D. Jakes. But one thing I can tell you is that if it were not for T.D. Jakes, I probably would not be sitting on this YouTube having a conversation with you right now. It was one message that T.D. Jakes preached that turned situations around for me and pulled me out of a very horrible pit. And I've said it on many occasions, and I'm about to say it again. The title of the message was entitled The 25th Hour. And he talked about how Joshua was fighting all of the Gideonites and the Jebusites and the Hittites, all the ites. And God did some amazing things for him where he stopped the sun and allowed him to continue to fight in order for him to win the battle. And that message profoundly changed my life. That was on a Wednesday night. I'll never forget it as long as I live. That Thursday night, this little skinny, scrawny man came up to the platform with some really big glasses. His name was Bishop Charles Edward Blake, and he preached a message entitled Emotional Survival in a Crazy World. Never forgot that message in all of my life. Why? Because that message profoundly changed my life. I may have disagreements with T.D. Jakes. I may not like T.D. Jakes, but I am man enough. I am mature enough to understand that even if I disagree with a person's theology, with a person, the way that a person does business, does not mean if I acknowledge certain things about that person, that I am simply okaying everything about their life and who they are as an individual. We must learn to mature ourselves to the point to where we can get out of our angry stage and we can get to a place to where we can have a mature conversation. For those of you that followed me when I was on the radio, I want you to hear me very carefully. Hear me very carefully. I told you guys when we were doing Church Folk Revolution that when the Church Folk Revolution stopped their radio program and they were no longer on the air, you would hear me, you would see me, because I had a responsibility to help individuals who had the spiritual rug pulled from underneath them, and they were wailing and flailing, trying to get their feet on solid ground so that they would understand that they're not crazy, so that the things that they are experiencing and that they're hearing the Holy Spirit say to them about certain parts of the institutional church, that they're not crazy or they're not wrong. And I have a responsibility to come here and to spark conversation and have these conversations. No, I am not your gossip vlogger who's going to give you the latest piece of tea, or as y'all say, I'm not the person who's going to come out here and dig through a digital trash can just so I can give you something that's going to wow you and all of that kind of stuff. No, that's not me. My job is to spark the conversation and to deal with mature people and talk about it. Okay? All right. And we'll deal with that in a minute. We'll deal with that in a minute. I can't really stop to talk about you guys' comments, because if I do that, I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to go back to the comments on tonight. I promise I will. Regardless of what you think about T.D. Jakes, Eddie Long, and a lot of these other preachers, there are some things that are undeniable that you cannot deny. Case in point, do you not recognize or know that Eddie Long was the pastor of the largest African-American church in America? Do you know that? Regardless of whatever his proclivities were, and regardless of what we think about him and what happened to him and all of those things, there are some absolutes that we can discuss and that we can have debate about and discuss. But what is undeniable is he pastored the largest Black church in America, period. Point blank. T.D. Jakes has made a significant impact on Christendom in America. And the Americanized version of Christianity is a whole nother conversation. Whole nother conversation. That's not the conversation that I want to have tonight. But all of this hoopla about who he was and what his doctrine is and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I get all of that. Those are specific conversations that we can have at a specific time. But let me be very, very clear, ladies and gentlemen. T.D. Jakes has made a tremendous impact on Christianity and on Americanized version of Christianity. Let me be very clear also. If you're honest with yourself, there has been a message that you have heard this man preach that has impacted you in one way or the other. It may have been good, it may have been bad, but you were impacted. And for a lot of us, we can honestly admit, if we're going to be honestly and admit things, we can honestly say that this man has preached messages that have actually blessed our souls and have blessed us and brought us out of a place where we were in very hurtful places, and we were in places where we needed God's help. And I can say the same thing about Bishop G.E. Patterson. I can say the same thing about some other preachers, that there are some other preachers that have delivered messages that have blessed us. We may not have agreed with their life. We may not have agreed with how they have pulled money out of people. We may not have agreed with how they run their ministry, but we can agree that there are some things that they have contributed to the American landscape of Christianity. And I am I am an older man. I'm not as young as I was when I was over there with the Church Folk Revolution. It has been years. And so you need to understand that I have matured past some things. And some things I am just not willing to just be bashing. If you thought I was just going to come over here and just bash. No, we're supposed to have conversation. You don't have to agree with me, but that's why I dropped the link. So when you disagree, you have more than the right to come up and say your piece and give your thoughts on the process, and then expect a little pushback from the rest of us. But TD Jakes has stepped down, ladies and gentlemen. The church has been turned over to his daughter Sarah and her husband Toure. Now y'all listen to me. I personally I'm an old school guy. This is a new generation. And whether we want to acknowledge it or admit it tonight, and I want you to hear me. And I agree. I agree, Ann. And I'm gonna acknowledge your comment, and I'm gonna acknowledge your comment because I agree. But Ann, I want you to hear me out for just a second. And we are older. We are more mature. We came from an age of church that is completely different from the new church that is actually existing today. We grew up in a church where men were not allowed to wear hats in the sanctuary. And I'm not talking about them big satellite dishes that William wears. I'm talking about just ball caps. I'm seeing young men walk into church and sit on a pew with a ball cap. We were told that when the man or the woman of God walked into a room, we were to stand to our feet. Most in the church where I grew up, when the man or woman of God walked into a room, we stood up and we acknowledged them, because there was supposed to be we were taught a line of reverence. Okay. When I grew up, when a hearse went down the street, come on, y'all, when the hearse passed by, the cars pulled over and the men took off their hats. And they gave respect to the dead and to the individuals who passed. We have lost all of that. That's not the generation that we're in anymore. We are in the generation where the niggas race the hearse. They driving in front of the hearse. They done pressed on the gas to get in front of the hearse just so that they can knock the hearse out of their place. I grew up in a generation where if a woman, if you were walking with a woman, you walked on the outside so she could walk on the inside. So she wouldn't be, if the car did jump the curb, it was going to hit you and not her. It was out of respect as a man. I was raised in a generation that said if a woman stepped in front of you, that you were supposed to go and open the door for her and let her in. That's the generation I was raised in. I was raised as growing up that if it started to rain, that you put the umbrella on the woman and that you was soaking damn wet. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go here. But that's where I was raised. But the reverse of that was I was able to see a generation of women who respected a man enough to know, okay, dinner's made. Let me give your father his plate first because he's been out working all day, and let me make sure that your father has his plate. And I grew up in a generation where men were served. I grew up in a generation that when a man came home, there wasn't a woman always in his face, yip yapping and yip 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 yip, and she allowed him to come and to divest himself a little bit of his workday. It might have been he had to go in and take a shower and then come out and present himself to the family, or he might have just wanted to go sit in his lazy boy chair and read the newspaper for an hour or so. I grew up in a generation where it was a little bit different, but we have to understand we are dealing with a different church and a different generation. And I personally believe that no, Sarah and Tudor are not the greatest folks who can take over this church. But let's be real here. This is America. And in America, this is a business. And most business owners are not going to turn their business over to a stranger or to a strange family. This ceased to be about what God wanted a long time ago. And you all need to get this in your understanding, and you need to understand this. This is the Americanized version of Christianity, and this is the business of Christianity. He's not going to turn his church over to somebody whose last name is not Jakes. Understand that. He's not going to do that. Okay? Understand that. He is not going to do that. If you don't know how churches run, you need to go back and, well, first of all, you need to become a member of this channel, and you need to go back and watch some of my earlier videos when I broke this thing down to you and explained to you about the 501c3 and how church is run in America. You would not even have church running the way that it is in America today if it was not for a man by the name of Dr. Gene Scott. I broke all this stuff down to you years ago. And it's still on this channel. You can go watch it or you can Google it. The reason why these preachers are able to live in parsonages and they're able to live the way that they able to live is because of Dr. Gene Scott. Gene Scott sued the government. Oh, yes, he did. And he sued the government. And when he sued the government, it changed the law. And I believe that was in 1975 when he did that. Or it might have been 1983, somewhere around there. Y'all forgive me. I don't even remember. But I believe it was in the 70s because they were going back and forth with this legal stuff for quite some time. So y'all listen to me very carefully. This is a different church. So if you upset today about TD Jakes, and let me say this since I'm on this subject. For all of you that keep coming over to our channels, talking about I'm defending TD Jakes, I'm not defending him. You're just coming in on the tail end of a conversation that has been going on for years. And I am just at a different place and space in my life where I'm not in the business of just bashing. Yes, we can have a conversation about doctrine. We can have a conversation about how they handle the money. We can have a conversation about a whole lot of things. But I'm trying to keep it in the context of what we are discussing. Okay, for today's conversation, we're not applauding the fact that of his doctrine or how he does business. We are applauding what he has brought to the American Christian landscape. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you dislike it. You're going to have to admit it. And I hear Ric Flair and behind my ear, I'll say that Ric Flair said, like it or love it. You don't have to like it or love it. But the fact is, he's a world champion. And you listen to me, you don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. That TD Jakes brought something to the American landscape for Christianity. And he did business in America the way the Christian business is run in America. It's as crooked can be, but he is one of the world champions of preaching in America, and he has exited the stage with his heavyweight championship belt, and you ain't got to like it. All you're gonna have to do is sit back and acknowledge whatever you can acknowledge. But ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, it's a done deal. Woo! He's a jet flying, limousine riding son of a gun. Woo! You ain't got to like it. Now, moving on to the second clause of my little speech here. If you still on the internet running around here talking about TD Jakes was with P. Diddy and all of this other stuff with not a shred of evidence, you don't have one piece of evidence as it relates to that. You don't have a picture. You don't have an audio. You don't have nothing as it relates to that situation. But y'all want me to believe that. But you want me to go and listen to another vlogger tell you that I should believe a 3-tier SA offender about a hug and a potential kiss, and you think I'm supposed to just fall in line with that? Okay. So to me, this has nothing to do with truth and honesty. This just has to do with the fact that you don't like a person and you want to just beat the person down as much as you can beat the person down. I don't care for the man, but at least I know I want to live in integrity and I want to do what the Bible says as far as not bearing false witness. You do know there's some other scriptures in the Bible other than dealing with the LGBTQIA community. Y'all do realize there's some other things in that Bible that say you're not supposed to bear false witness. You do know the Bible says that you're not supposed to be coveting your neighbor and being covetous. You do realize those things are in the scripture too. You do realize that you're not supposed to be gluttonous. You know, there's some other things in the Bible as well. So don't go around here with your self-righteous self trying to tell me what I'm supposed to think about TD Jakes and how I'm supposed to feel. I am not about to get in no war with you all about no doggone TD Jakes. Period. Point blank. End of story. Now let me go to your comments, because I don't want to miss your comments. And I agree with Ann Brock when she said this. I think that is great. I agree with you, Ann. Gerald says, I think it was time for him to step down. And so do I, Gerald, because the man done had a whole heart attack up in the daggone church. I'm just saying. Bishop Eddie Long I followed too, and I was shocked and saddened by the end of his life. I remember T.D. Jakes blessed me till 2015 with his sermons. After that year, I couldn't watch his sermons. Let me tell you what happened. Transition for me. I lost a lot of respect for T.D. Jakes through that Eddie Long situation. When he got on CNN and he made those statements on CNN, I could no longer watch T.D. Jakes. I have not sat down and watched a whole sermon of T.D. Jakes probably since those CNN days. And that's the God's honest truth. I've tried to sit through a whole sermon. I just can't do it because everything that I keep hearing in my ear is what he said about those young men and how he conducted himself regarding that Eddie Long thing. Listen here, I can be friends with you. If I'm your friend and you do something that is wrong, if I call you out on the wrong thing that you've done and admit it to you that you were wrong and you still can't be my friend, then guess what? We cannot be friends. We can't be friends. Let me just speak about Daryl Moore and I for a second, because, you know, everybody is always trying to, pit me and Daryl Moore against one another. Why? I don't know. And some people think they're slick. Lord, please hold my tongue. Let me breathe. Some people think they're being slick and they think that their rudeness, their disrespect, and a lot of things that they do are going unnoticed. It is not going unnoticed. I'm just a sober man. And to be sober means to be intellectually aware that I have an enemy and that I have enemies. Understand something. I understand that I could be in the middle of people waving palm branches, but recognize that these people don't mean me any good, that they would sooner nail me to a digital cross and put me in front of the whole wide world to embarrass me and pierce me in my side and call me everything but a child of God, all while claiming to be my friend and to be a supporter of mine. Isn't that something? I am no longer moved, and understand something. The grace that I extend to you, I'm not extending you the grace that I'm giving you just because. I'm extending the grace to you because I'm hoping at some point you will do like the prodigal son and come to yourself and get some recollection about who God is. And if you've been around me long enough, you should understand the things that I have said and done have been proven over time. You have seen the things that I have told you come to pass. I have not told you or misled you in one single thing away. You have seen everything, even as it relates to Dr. Scrotum Sniffer, come to pass, and it's still going to keep coming to pass. Oh, yes, it is. So don't test my length of grace to you. Don't do that by thinking that what you are doing is going unnoticed. I want you to hear me and hear me well. You need to understand that. And I'm going to move on from that. But God has not changed. We just did. That's right. A lot of people have changed. I know I have. And I thank you for your respect. Amen. And amen to that. Listen here, Miss Lex. I saw a young man today sitting in the sanctuary. I think he had on an LA baseball cap, sitting right in the sanctuary. But he's surrounded by all these young people. They were young people in this particular church. And I was like, you know what I said to myself? I said, Marcellus, every generation tends to hate on the generation that's coming behind them. You don't want to be one of those people. You're going to have to go to God and talk to God about this generation and undergird this generation that's coming up behind you with a lot of prayer because they need it. Because certain things that we had in our generation, they do not have. And we're going to have to undergird this generation with a lot of prayer because they don't have what we had. I'm sorry. They just do not have it. They don't have the respect level. They don't understand honoring their mothers and their fathers and their aunties and their elders. They don't understand that. They don't have a clue about that. So it's my responsibility and your responsibility to undergird them with prayer and wisdom. And not take the opportunity to attack the young person, but take your opportunity in love and in humility to give them what you feel like God has put on the inside of you. And that thing hit me today like a ton of bricks as I watched those young people in that sanctuary. No, it's not what I would do. And I don't feel comfortable being around young people like that. But I have to understand that I'm dealing with a different generation. Now, let me say this. The Bible says that Joshua and Caleb had a different spirit. When they went out to spy out the land, the scripture says very clearly that they had a different spirit. When all of the rest of the saints were saying the ship was going down and everything was bad and they weren't going to be able to go in and possess what God had told them to possess, Joshua and Caleb said, listen here, there's some giants in this place, and this place don't look all, it don't look like, it's got, things that look great, but it's also got some giants in there. There's some big situations in this thing that we feel like needs to be changed and that we need to deal with. There's some giants over there. Them anacoms are over there. And we need to go over there and fight. We can do it. We are fully able to do it. And I know there's some of us that are in the older generation, and I don't know what God is doing we're in the middle of a transition. Let me just say this. Y'all don't know it. If y'all don't feel it in your spirit, not just with political or political, but we're also in a spiritual transition. And I can't give full articulation to it just yet. But when God opens up and shares more with me, I will talk to you guys more about it. But we are in a spiritual transition. When one person exits off the scene, the Bible says Moses died, then Joshua. The very next word said Moses died, then Joshua. I'm just saying. All right. Let me go on. Somebody said they wear these hats and things at the club. They sure do. I haven't done my book club. As a matter of fact, we got 2 books we're gonna read. Old school. Since you wanna bring that up. Y'all know I'm a little controversial. I recommend some of you get this book. Y'all need to go get this book today. Go ahead and get this book. If you don't have it, go get it. As a matter of fact, I think we should probably start with pagan Christianity with our book club. But I'm going to start here with you guys. Go get this book by Dr. Frank Viola. It's a very good book. And we'll do some things in our private chat as it relates to this book. And I'll set a date for you guys when we're going to start our book situation. I got 2 books, but one of the books, I'm trying to get the author to come up, and I'm going to interview the author of that book, and I'm not going to share that one right now. But go get that book because we're going to do that. And I struggle, Ann, with this new church. I really do. God knows I do, Ann. But I got so convicted today. It's not my generation, Ann. Every generation has to present themselves to God the best way that they know how to present themselves to God. Hopefully we've left a legacy long enough and something instilled in them enough to where we can say, okay, it is what it is. And I'm sad to say it this way, Ann, but those of us that are a little older, we're going to find ourselves in the old church. We're going to find ourselves in the old church. We're going to find a church that meets the model of church that we're more accustomed to. But it's something to be a preacher who has to learn how to bridge the gap between the old and the new. Man, if I had time tonight. But TD Jakes, you all that are kicking against the grain and still running around here talking all of this foolishness, I'm not in that space. I'm not in that space. And y'all need to understand that. Yeah. And I agree with that. Yes. I agree with that. Alex, is just the truth. It is the truth. It is the truth. Listen here, Princess, they do it in California too. They'll go right on in the funeral procession. And you like, wait a minute. You ain't supposed to be in this line. And you see them zigging and zagging through the traffic. I'm just saying. You ain't listen here. You ain't lying. Listen here, love and happiness. Be totally soaking wet. Umbrella, she covered. But you know what? But see, if I want to take some time to talk about that for just a second, but that's also, I think, the respect factor between men and women has also shifted. And that's one of the reasons why our relationships are so disjointed, because we don't have We keep everybody's jockeying for certain positions, and there is a divine order to this thing. I'm sorry, but there just is, because when the divine order is out of alignment, we don't have the what's the word for it? The synergy that we need in order for us to do the things that we need to do, because we're out of order and out of alignment. That's just what I believe. That's absolutely true. Could no man put on no hat. And that's how a lot of us were raised. Regina, they gave us the big piece of chicken. Yes, Lord. And as I look, as I have gotten older, and understanding the dynamics of relationships and how tired we as African Americans are, because back in those days, those guys, our grandfather and fathers, they were going out there working hard, hustling, and having to deal with racist bosses and all of these other things. So when your father came home and your granddaddy came home, he didn't come home to a lot of chaos and a lot of mess. I can't speak for y'all. That's why I'm a very peaceful person in my home. When my father came home and my granddaddy came home, my grandmother had cooked. And when my granddaddy came through the door, my granddaddy could sit down and first of all, he took a bath, and he came and he sat down and he started reading the newspaper. And I'm going to tell you how crazy it was in our house. Couldn't nobody read the newspaper before my daddy or my granddaddy. You couldn't even grab the comics section to read the comics before my daddy came home or my granddaddy came home from work. You could not even touch the newspaper. You didn't hear what I said. The newspaper was not to be touched. Do you hear me? I'm just saying. And I spent the summertime with my father and my stepmother. So I spent the winter with my mom, and I spent the summer with my father. And a couple of months before the end of the school year, I was with my dad, and then, with my mom the rest of the time. So, I'm the kind, I've had my father and my mother. My father was not an absentee father. Some people, I don't understand. That's another reason why I don't need spiritual daddies. Some of y'all are a little disjointed. And if you've never had your father in your life, then I understand you getting a spiritual mentor or having somebody that can help you. But let me explain something to you. I'm okay to have a spiritual mentor too, but I'm not calling nobody my daddy. I have a father. That stuff is weird. And it's not balanced. And that's one of the reasons why we're in the trouble that we're in. There's no balance to it. Absolutely. TD turning his daughter and her husband deserve that church. God answered TD Jakes' prayer. All right. TD Jakes has 3 sons, but they're not interested in church business. I wouldn't be either. The way these people operate in church, I wouldn't want it either. And for those of you that are wondering what's Cora going to do, she's going to do the same thing she's been doing, supporting her father and her sisters. And her sister, that's what she's going to be doing. Somebody said, who thought that they was going to get it? A lot of people did. Most of us. I mean, who didn't think they were going to get it? I mean, really. Yeah. Well, I keep trying to tell y'all, and stick a pin here because I want you to hear me. If you're holding me to yesterday's thought, you don't understand me as a man and as a person, because I'm constantly evolving and I'm constantly growing. If you're going to hold me or pigeonhole me to a thought I had 6 or 7 years ago, then you are the one who is in error and making the mistake. You're making the mistake, not me. I'm just saying. It's always the ones that people think are not good enough that's qualified. I'm not trying to be deep, but God promotes, not man. David was less qualified. Absolutely. And I agree with that as well. Absolutely. And he had to bring his strengths and the things that he was accustomed to the table so that he could do God's business and do what was necessary in order for him to serve God in his generation. If I had time, but I ain't got time. Listen here, Kevin. Woo! Listen, what did Ric Flair say? In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And I'm just here to tell you, you all can say whatever you want. In America, the man that has been at the top of the heap in American Christianity, according to Time magazine, was that big burly black guy, Dwayne Youngblood said, but by the name of T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes, when Franklin, what's his name? What's his name? Franklin. Not Franklin Graham, Billy Graham. When Billy Graham went off the scene, Time magazine told us clearly who was next up in line. And the people in America were shocked and upset. And it was a black man. And that black man, whether you like him or not, has been on the stage in American Christianity, blessing people and doing the things that he's done in his life. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he's done, but he's been blessing somebody, and it is what it is, and you don't have to like it. But as Ric Flair said, you don't have to like it, but you better get to love it, because he was the man on the American Christian scene. Woo! I said what I said. I'm just saying. And boy, I love Gene Scott. I love Gene Scott. Let me tell you something. I used to love watching Gene Scott. I'm weird like that. Oh, Gene Scott. Gene Scott would have got on this internet and told y'all to send him $2,000, and y'all would have sent the money. I asked for 10 people to send me $10, and y'all act like I'm begging every day. I'm trying to make sure that I can do what I need to do. Shout out to all of you that support the channel, but you just triggered me, because Gene Scott was something else. Gene Scott would put that cigarette in his mouth and he say, I need $10,000 in the next 20 minutes. And then people would get on the phone and they would give it. They would give it. Yes, they would. And some of you will come over to St. James, myself and Vincent, and you will watch, and we will give you great entertainment, give you great conversation. And when we ask for a little bit of support, everybody, well, I don't know why they asking this for support. Wait, listen, we got stuff to do, and we're trying to make sure that we're bringing you a consistent level of good content. I tried to take y'all from the other platform that I was using, brought y'all over to StreamYard, and now I have to pay $44 a month for. I'm just saying, which is another bill, which is over what, $500 something a year. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. And I like to get in front of my bills. I don't like to be behind them. I'm just saying. That's the way I think. I want to give you guys a good program. And I don't want to come up here having to beg. That's the truth. Did anybody have issues with the Grahams, Falwells, or Osteen? So why are they so bothered by Jakes? Well, the thing is, you all, there are some doctrinal things that I have issues with TD Jakes with. Doctrinal stuff, yes, but they're letting the Americanized version of Christianity enrage them to the point to where they're always in fight mode, Moni. And I'm not in fight mode anymore. I'm just in having the conversation and the dialogue and trying to reach the people that I'm supposed to reach. That's why I'll tell y'all, Dr. Scrotum Sniffer over there, I don't dislike him. What I'm trying to get people, well, that's not true, Marcellus, back up. I don't hate him. I just don't like him. Let's be clear. I don't hate him at all. I do not. Now, that's different for Daryl, but I'm just saying. But Daryl's got a right to feel the way that he feels. Believe it or not, Beauty for Ashes, I was always at that Greensboro Coliseum going to watch Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. And I actually, I have a memory of meeting Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. But it's a long story and I ain't got time. We'll do that in the private chat. Did you see all those members? He had TD Chut's lives and all of them. Of course, designed by Jules. He touched a lot of people. I mean, it is what it is. People can say whatever they want. I'm just saying. Sean Talks, thank you for joining me. Yeah, if I got to be a carbon copy of somebody, we were never friends. And that's just the truth. That is absolutely the truth. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the difference, Tara, between that generation and Ann Brock. This should help you out too. And the difference between their generation and our generation, not just the discipline aspect, because that's where the word disciple comes from. We were discipled, and inside of discipleship came discipline. That's how we were able to discipline our lives as well. And we didn't have to keep coming down to the altar every week and repenting for the same thing every week, because we were disciplining our lives and our lifestyle. But see, that's another reason why Dr. Scrotum Sniffer can come on the internet and tell you you don't need a pastor. All you need is a prophet, which is a false lie. Because the reason why you need a shepherd is because shepherds provide some level of discipline at times, because you're the rod and thy staff comforts. The staff is necessary for the sheep to remain in a line so that they can go in the direction that they need to go in. That's why you do, on some level, need a shepherd in your life. Now, how that shepherd looks to me should be a little bit more organic. You can't say you my shepherd and you've never met me. You can't say you're my shepherd if you've never sat down to discover who I am and what's going on in my life. You can't say that you're my shepherd and you're able to live your life aloof from me, because shepherds touch the sheep. Shepherds sleep with the sheep. And when I say sleep with them, I don't mean physically. Get that straight, because some of y'all are wicky wacky. They are in close proximity to the sheep is what I'm trying to tell you. You understand what I'm saying? And I know I'm walking heavy tonight. Let me just take a pause right here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you have not yet supported this program tonight, I need 8 more of you to send at least $10 tonight to help us meet our goal. I actually think it's 9 more of you, because Tracy was the first one. Gail topped us off last night, but it shows on today because I think it was over midnight. Yeah, it was after midnight when she did it. So just so that y'all know, because people love this narrative that don't nobody support the program. But I appreciate y'all, and I'm not fussing with y'all. I'm just letting y'all know, because I'm tired of all of these people talking and they don't know what they be talking about. It's annoying. It really is. There are some Christian young men who have started wearing their cap. Absolutely, they sure are. They sure are. When an elderly person entered the room and there were no seats, we were taught to let them have our seat. And I just was telling somebody that the other day. When people get on the bus now, it used to be that you would give up your seat to a woman or to an elderly person. Not anymore. You got a pregnant woman hanging on for dear life. She holding on to the bar with her belly. And you don't think nothing about that? How about being an example? See, here's the thing about the Christian life. Lord, I didn't come in here to preach, but it is Sunday night. The real thing about the Christian life was we were supposed to be an example to the world. You do realize that, right? When we saw the world acting one way, we were supposed to act a different way so that they could see a difference in us and through us. The reason why the world is shaped the way that it's shaped today is because nobody is acting any different. Everybody's doing all the same thing. You dressing like the world, you talking like the world, you acting like the world, everything the world do, you do. Makes no sense whatsoever. Makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever. In my daily life, now you can attack me for my cussing. I'll take the beat up for the cussing, because I'm gonna cuss y'all asses out every chance I get. And you know why I'm gonna do it? Because it has to. Sometimes you have to shake these raggedy saints, and sometimes cussing will jar you out of your stupidum in order for me to get a message to you. Because, you want me to say, oh, just pray and we're going to believe the Lord. That's what you want. And I have to tell you, niggas, that ain't working. You need to change your methodology for what you're doing and how you're conducting yourself so that you can talk to people and be real with people. This is just me. This is how I am. My family will tell you I live a very disciplined life. If they're honest, they will tell you. These ninjas that hate me, because we all know we got family members that just don't like us, Them other ninjas, no telling what they might come out of their mouth, but they just gonna lie because they don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I'm the same person I've always been. I haven't changed not one bit, except for my thinking and my process on how I look at stuff. I'm just saying. It says we have left such a poor witness. Most of these young people don't want what we have. Listen here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to recommend you to get pagan Christianity. I'm definitely going to recommend I see your notation. I see your message. So yes, Pagan Christianity is a great book. We call it the red pill because it will get you out of the matrix. That is the pill. You remember how Neo was in the matrix and they gave him a red pill and a blue pill? We call the Pagan Christianity book the red pill because soon as you take it, it's the one with the red cover. I don't want to call your name on the live because I don't want you to know. It's the red cover. I believe you're looking at the one with the red cover. I'm reading messages and talking to y'all at the same time. See how I'm multitasking, and you wonder why I be so tired. I'm just saying because I'm talking in the private message and talking to y'all at the same time. There is a divine order, and we have to be honest about that. Lynn, and that is why you have a husband. That is why you have a husband, because you respect your husband. And if you notice, when there's certain kind of conversations, Lynn, certain things I just won't say to you. And there's certain things that I won't put in the chat because I respect your husband. You understand? There was something that I saw on the internet that I could have threw in there that I wanted to throw in there, but I didn't because I said, I don't want Lynn's husband thinking I'm sending her all these kind of crazy messages. I didn't put it in the chat because I was like, I can't put that in that chat because I don't want your husband to see nothing and think that I was being rude or being disrespectful to him because that's just how I was raised. You understand what I'm saying? There's a respect factor there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Somebody said facts. Don't touch the paper or the TV. I know that's right. Hey, now my shata. Now listen, Gerald, you done reminded me about the TV. Let me tell y'all something about the TV. If you watching this and you from a younger generation, let me tell you what used to happen. When my daddy came home, and he sat down. Now, if he wasn't drinking, but if he had the remote, or you had the remote was taken out of your hand and given to my daddy, and my daddy got to determine what was on the television. You understand? Because he is the man of the house. He is the husband. You don't understand what the word husband means. It means house band. It is the husband's job to keep the house together, not the wife. Oh, I wish I had time. The word husband means house band. When y'all are all in your house is screaming at the top of your lungs, it's the husband's job to quiet the storm in the house and to bring some level of intelligence and intellect into the house and into the conversation so everybody's not being led by their emotion. It is the husband's job to balance the relationship between mother and daughter. Because a lot of times in the home, it is the mother and the daughter who is constantly going at each other. It is a husband's job to bring balance to those things. So if you're in the house letting your wife and your daughter go off on each other every 5 minutes, that's your fault, dummy. You're not a good house band because that's your responsibility is to bring all of that down. I'm just saying, bring all of that down. We're not doing this. And no, you're not going to call each other out your name. And no, you're not going to say these kind of crazy things. And just because, you're married to a person, that don't give your wife free license to talk to your daughter like she's some sort of hoe out on the street. Oh, Lord, let me go on. Because I listen at some of you and I know some of you. I know some of you. I know some of you. Lord, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Let me go on down. I must be talking good today because y'all ain't even typing in the chat. I done got to the bottom of the comments. And I'll look at it. I promise I'll look at it. CC, I promise I will. And thank you for being a member, CC. I really appreciate that. But we have, we respect our elders and we respect the people in our house. But don't expect for me to beat up on TD Jakes. If you came to my channel with an expectation of me just constantly beating up on the preacher, no, I talk about things that are public and give commentary to the things that are public. And I talk about these raggedy ass preachers. That's who I talk about. And so you need to understand that, and you need to understand who Mad Church Disease is and get up out of my face with the stupid. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family. where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. Shout out to all of you that are supporting the Mad Church Disease channel. We just need 6 more people tonight to do at least $10, and we will have hit our goal and budget for tonight. Thank y'all so very much. I'm about to get into a conversation, and this might be a little controversial for me because y'all might not have ever heard me say these things, but we need to have this conversation. I need all the men. I need y'all to come front and center. I want to talk to the men right now. I need the men to come forward. Now, what I'm going to say is going to apply to men and women. Let's talk about Shannon Sharpe for a minute. But let's talk, fellas. Let's talk. Can we have a real man-to-man here tonight? Let's let the women in on our conversation for a second. And if you want to come up later and talk to me about this, let's have a conversation. I'm talking to the men now. I'm not talking to you ladies. I'm talking to the men right now. Fellas, let's talk for a second. What I'm about to say to you is going to seem like a way off statement, but I need you to stay with me, dude. Stay with me. Shannon Sharpe really has the mentality of a high school football player. He still has the mentality of a young dude who is living in poor squalor and is making very bad choices and decisions. Shannon Sharpe has the mentality of R. Kelly. Sit with that for a minute. Now, that's going to seem very dangerous to some of you fellas, but walk with me because I have these conversations with my friends. We're men, so let's have a man conversation tonight. All men like candy. If we can lick it, we'll lick it. If we can stick it, we'll stick it. We like candy because candy tastes good. Candy is firm. Candy's titties is firm. You understand? Candy's titties is high and lifted up and will salute you when you come into the room. We're talking about candy now. It's like candy. Can we have can we have a conversation? I'm talking to the men in the room. Oh, I'm going here tonight because I'm going to elevate this conversation because we need to elevate just for a second. Let's elevate as men for a second. Every man likes candy. If you can get it, you're going to get it. If you can feel it, you're going to feel it. If you can smash it, you're going to smash it. Let's just be honest. But there is a certain time in your life as a man. The Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I had to put away some childish things. R. Kelly has the mentality. He was rich. He had money. He could go any place in the world that he wanted to go. But R. Kelly still had the mentality of a teenager because he still wanted to sleep with little girls and have sex with little girls because grown women intimidated him. Because let me tell you the difference between a man and a little boy. Grown women do not intimidate us. Let me just tell you that. I am actually intrigued and amused and really a lot of times aroused by an intelligent woman. I'm gonna just be honest. Can I just be honest here? I'm talking to the fellas. Fellas, if a teeny bopper, 19, 20-year-old girl gets you all in a hootin' and a scootin', something is wrong with you. Not her. Something wrong with you. because it shows that your mentality is too immature for you to be able to deal with a woman on a real level. But it also says to me, ladies and gentlemen, y'all help me out tonight. Y'all help me out tonight. It also shows to me that you have commitment issues and you are a person who does not understand the beauty of commitment. Oh, help me, Jesus. The reason why so many of these preachers keep getting into the trouble that they're getting into. Come here, Brian Carn. Yeah, I'm going to talk about your big monkey lip having ass. I sure am. Come here, Brian Carn. Why do you think Brian Carn is over here still running around here doing the things that he's doing? Because he is afraid of commitment. He is allergic to commitment. He doesn't want to commit to anything because when commitment comes, there is a stability there and there is also a covenant there. Because most people that live like Shannon Sharpe and live like R. Kelly and live like Brian Carn and live like some of these other people, they don't understand the value and the beauty of commitment. Now get this, you can be mad at Jamal Bryant all the hell you want to, but at least Jamal had sense enough to know, hey, I'm a man and I can't be going out here smashing all these females. At some point I got to get married and try to lock it down. And he's trying to lock it down. Let's pray for Jamal right now. Let's take a moment of silence. That was our prayer. Now listen here. Now you listen here. We ain't gonna spend too much time on Jamal. Y'all know that's my Instagram pastor. Now y'all listen to me. They have commitment issues, and it is a sign of an immature man. And while we're supporting Shay Shay and Club Shay Shay, you're over there, Shannon Sharpe, about to drop the ball. You're a man who understands sports and have lived your whole life running a ball. And when you get on the playing field of life, sir, you're about to drop the ball. You're fumbling the ball, sir. Lord, I wish I had time. Oh my God, I wish I had time. I ain't got time because I don't want to keep y'all here all night. But y'all listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Let me see where we are budget wise, because I may have to go out and do some work. That's why. Where we at? I need 5 more of y'all to send $10 and we're done. Listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Shannon Sharpe, you are fumbling the ball, sir. You are off sides. God has given you so much, sir. And we want to support you. And we want to watch Club Shay Shay. And we want to be in your corner. I need 5 more of y'all, or I might cut this live off early because I do have to go to, it's 5:41 here, and I'm going to have to go out in the middle of the darn night and do some work. But y'all need to hear me. But I promise you I won't be standing on the corner like some of these other vloggers with a wig on, with my leg out seeing what I can catch. I'm just saying. You know, some of these people who done live their whole lives like whores have the nerve to come up on the internet and be referring to other people as roaches. Are you kidding me? And you over there living in a roach motel and got to take an Uber to go so you can go to a hotel every now and then so you can live life like the rest of us with plush pillows and clean sheets. I'm just saying. And since I'm a roach, and I'm sorry, y'all, I ain't got off subject, but I'm going to get back to Shannon Sharpe in just a second. You honey bun cheek face motherfucker, you got a whole nerve to be on the internet calling a bunch of people a bunch of roaches. You got your whole nerve. You better take your marshmallow toe having ass on some damn where, if you even have toes. You dippity doodah looking ass. Better go somewhere and have a whole seat if you can fit in it. I don't know what's wrong with these people on the internet. All I'm doing is having commentary and saying what I think and feel. If you don't like it, you can do what my mama used to tell folks. You can kiss my pecan tan ass. I don't give a shit. Because when I get done with this live tonight, I'm going to go on about my business. But I'm sorry, y'all. I had to take a station break here just so I can tell somebody to kiss my entire ass. And I meant what I said, because I don't speak unless I mean what I say. You can kiss my whole ass. But back to Shannon Sharpe just for a second. To Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe has commitment issues, ladies and gentlemen. And a man of his stature who has been as blessed as Shannon Sharpe, it is a dangerous position to be in, to be a man of his money, his fame, and have these types of issues. I'm sorry, C. Bree. I didn't even go there until I got triggered. That's my let me see your transcript word. I got triggered. Thank you, Kevin Moore. Thank you so very much for your support. I got triggered. That's what happened, Lynn. I started thinking. When I got in my head for a second. I don't understand these people who can get on the internet and start hollering and calling people all out their name and stuff when I haven't done anything to these people. They don't even know me. You want to curse me out and be mean and evil to me because your benefactor, the person that pays you cash apps, doesn't like me or I don't like him. So you think you want to get on the internet and call me all out of my name and say all these horrible things? Well, then guess what? I guess one horrible person on the internet deserves another. So I can give it as good as I can take it. So just understand something. So, and I'm trying to be nice. I really am, y'all, because I'm trying to protect my peace. And trust me, when I get off this internet, I don't care. I really don't. But I know my moderators heard me being called a roach and a slop bucket vlogger. Okay, I'll be a slop bucket vlogger. At least I can pick the bucket up. And at least the slop that's in the bucket ain't my slop. I'm probably trying to help clean up some shit that other people done caused. I'm just saying, if I'm a slop bucket vlogger, I'll take that. I'll take it. I'm a slop bucket vlogger. Okay, I'm a roach, but I promise you one thing. I'm a roach that unseen the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. No more darkness and no more night. I guarantee you I saw the light. And guess what? When I saw the light, I didn't run. I lifted my hands up and gave God my entire life and told him, however you can use me or fix me, God, I'm willing to take it. Yes, I'm rough around the edges. Yes, I'm marred and scarred, like Jeremiah said when he went down to the potter's house and saw that the clay was marred and scarred in the hand of the potter. Yes, I'm marred. Yes, I'm scarred. Yes, I got some issues. Yes, I got some things, but I love the Lord and I love his people. And I'm not coming on the internet just because I just want to come on here and talk. I'm coming on here because I'm trying to get you to see that Jesus plus nothing equals everything. You can be mad at me all you want to because the person that's cash apping you allegedly is a child molester. You can say whatever you want. It ain't no alleged. You can be mad at me because the person that's cash apping you has male level lovers all while he's on the internet trying to tell people he's a prophet and a pastor in God's church. You must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Shannon Sharpe has issues, and I'm sorry to go down that path. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize. And the cuss out tonight definitely is brought to you by Raid. You damn right. All kinds of raids. Because you niggas done had your houses raided. Y'all done had your houses raided. Out there doing credit card fraud and all kind of shit. And you're going to come over here on the internet trying to talk about somebody else. Man, let me move on before I get off this. Shannon Sharpe has commitment issues. And those commitment issues, fellas, I'm talking to the fellas. Let me get back. Woosah. Let me get back. And I might have to edit that out because I'm going to share this video out. Shannon Sharpe has issues, ladies and gentlemen, with commitment. And those commitment issues resemble R. Kelly's issues as well. Because they took R. Kelly out of the hood, but they could never get the hood out of R. Kelly. Because he kept like a dog returning to his own vomit, trying to sleep with young girls and do things with young women that he had no business doing. Can we talk, men? Can we talk? When you get to a certain age of maturity and just growing, and this is another reason why you need to have some friends who can speak into your life, who are not afraid of you and who don't get intimidated by you. Just because you got muscles and you look like swole cuz don't mean I should not be able to look you in your face and tell you the truth about the messed up stuff that you are doing. A 19-year-old girl, let's just forget about the fact that she's a white girl, because I hear all of y'all talking about the fact that she's white. Listen to me. None of that, whether she's white or black, I hear y'all calling the white girl a snow bunny and all of this other stuff. And you know where that comes from. I realize some of you want a husband and you don't have one, and you want a man, and you think that all of the black men are going over to white women. That's a lie from the pits of hell. I'm black and I am not attracted to white women, if I can just say that. Okay. I am not attracted to white women. Some of you have men in your lives that are trying to, develop some type of relationship with you, but because he don't make the kind of money you think he's supposed to make, and you don't think he looks a certain kind of way, and you judge him on the outside of all of that stuff. And same way with some of you dudes, y'all judging a woman just solely on how she looks and all of this kind of stuff. And that is the main reason why in our community we are where we are, because of thought processes like that. My grandmother was a beautiful woman. My granddaddy looked like he fell out of Lord Jesus. Under the basha. Hobasha. I started to say something. Help me. And the woman that I knew as my grandmother, Miss Athamay. Miss Athamay was a beautiful woman. Oh my God. I loved my granny. Yes, I did. I love Miss Athamay. And I'll talk about my granny until the day I die. I get emotional even when I speak about it, because she had such a sweet spirit, and she was a businesswoman. She owned a business, had a restaurant. My grandmother was the shiznit. Okay. My granddaddy. Oh my God. I used to be like, how in the world? Grandma, in my mind, I would never say this to my grandmother, because my grandmother probably would have knocked the shit out of me. But my granddaddy, on the weekend, he wore them, what I guess you call them overalls things. Lord Jesus, my granddaddy. He hunted everything that could be shot and killed. Squirrel, possum. And would come out and the back of the house would have them things hanging up from on the clothesline, dripping blood, and he out there trying to clean. I'd be like, who gonna eat that? And now that's when I would go in the kitchen and be like, Granny, I ain't eating that, right? I'm not eating none of that, Granny. I'm not eating none of that. Yes, I've been bougie all my life. I'm not eating none of that. Everybody know I've been bougie all my life. And yes, I was a child. I was going to tell you I wasn't going to eat that. You darn right. I wasn't going to eat it. And thank God, if my mother cooked it, I had to eat it. But if I went somewhere else, my mother had some rules. I didn't have to eat other people cooking. And 9 times out of 10, I don't care whose cooking it was. My mama said I ain't had to eat it. And I would tell you to your face, my mama said I ain't got to eat this and I ain't going to eat it. And do you know, as a kid, how many people's houses I was put? Oh, Lord. I'm telling on myself. And I know sometime my mama watched this podcast, because she told me that the other day. Y'all listen to me. Do you all know how many people's houses as a child I was thrown out of because I told them my mama said I ain't had to eat their nasty ass cooking? These pancakes ain't supposed to look like that. The pancakes is supposed to be golden brown with crispy edges. These is black. Oh Lord, I done tickled myself. Shit, y'all crazy. I've been bougie all my life. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And I have worked hard all of my life. I'm just in a transitional period right now. I don't make the kind of money that I used to make. I'm in a transition. We are in transition, and we're gonna talk about some of that in another day. But Lord, y'all would be surprised how many churches and how much stuff I've been kicked out of as a child. Not as an adult. I was a kid getting thrown out of places, and they'd be pushing me out the door, and I'd be talking shit as I was walking out. Oh Lord, listen here. It is a wonder that these people didn't whoop my tail as a child. They must have God had mercy on me. Because when I tell you, I used to let people have it even as a child. I used to let folks have it. one lady threw a jar at me. That's a whole nother story. Threw a whole jar at me, sure did. One of them mason jars like Vincent be drinking out of, because that's a North Carolina thing. That's a Southern thing. They love drinking water and stuff out of them big old jars, and they'll take the mayonnaise jar and jelly jar and all that stuff, and they'll save it and clean it out and use it to drink out of. I mean, I don't want that. No, I'll take a glass, please. Listen here, let me tell you something. And for a long time in my life, I would not drink out of a plastic cup or drink off and eat off of a plastic plate. But God had to bring me down too. Oh, you couldn't give me no plastic cups and no paper plate. Is you serious? Hey, Leah, I would never do that back in the day. Oh, no, you had to pour my drink in a glass. And I didn't care that everybody else had them red cookout cups that y'all like to serve everybody every 5 daggone minutes. No, I've been bougie all my life, and I do not apologize for it. I want to go, and if you really want to know the truth, right now, if you go down in my kitchen, you will discover that there's some gold silverware that I use that is specifically for me, that I eat with every single day. I'm just saying. Now, I do use the gold on a paper plate, sometimes with a plastic cup, but I shouldn't be doing that. But I'm just saying. I've been bougie all my life. Get out, and if you work hard and you work hard, you have a right to be bougie. In your home, you have a right to have peace in your home and live your life. And yes, I have roommates. Thank God for my roommates. Amen. Praise God. We love each other. And everybody in this house is running a whole business. This is an entrepreneurial home. Okay. So go somewhere with your stupid selves, always trying to run down somebody else's life. I'm just saying. And Tasha Global, I don't either. Oh, I embrace it. I sure do. Amen. Bless God. I've been bougie all my life. But if in full transparency, God had to bring me down too. Because I was a person, I would go to the grocery store and just pile everything in the basket. I wouldn't even look at the price. Get up there, the man say $300-$400. I wouldn't even gas. Just give him the money and go about my business. I didn't understand what a coupon was. Listen here, I'm just trying to tell y'all. I didn't know about all of that kind of stuff, the coupon books and stuff like that. But when you become a man, you put away childish things and you put away a childish way of thinking. You understand what I'm saying? Some things you got to put away. Shannon Sharpe is in the position that he's in right now, ladies and gentlemen, because he's still acting like a child and he is fumbling the ball. God and give this man so much. Now, listen at what the Lord said to me the other day about this. Get this. Y'all remember when Tabitha Brown went and spoke to him and gave him the word of the Lord? Y'all remember? When he was in transition and God was trying to get him a message that it was okay for him to step into a certain area or arena. Anybody remember that? Y'all remember that he was hesitant to make some moves until Tabitha came and he said when he heard the word of God out of Tabitha's mouth, then he made the moves. Do you know why God was holding you back, Shannon Sharpe? Because you don't have the character to keep you where you are right now. And you are fumbling the ball and your character is showing it. That's why God had to send the word of the Lord to you to tell you it was okay for you to move. But what's happening to you right now is your character is not sustaining you in the place in the space where you are. And that is the danger, Shannon Sharpe, for you doing the things that you are doing and behaving in the way that you're behaving. And that is the word of the Lord. Because let me tell you something, sir, your life, your ministry, your work cannot outrun your character. Understand something. The work that you submit into the ethos space that's going to reverberate through the halls of time is going to outlive you, Shannon Sharpe. And you don't want it to that you was the man who was sleeping with 19-year-old girls and you were living such a loose life that you could not be entrusted with the things that God put into your hands. How dangerous of a life are you trying to live? Shannon Sharpe, the Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? You want to be a soulless black man surrounded by all of these other soulless people? Can I suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the reasons why these people in Hollywood behave and act the way that they acted because they are soulless. Their mind is gone. Their will has been submitted to Satan's. And their emotions is all over the place. And that's what allows them to go and sleep with a 19-year-old girl. I'm just saying here, ladies and gentlemen, and we must understand that this is the danger of this situation. And we must recognize and understand it. Shout out to the over 400 and something of you watching me right now. Please make sure I have at least 250 likes right now. I would really appreciate it. I would really, really appreciate it. It's a shame and a sin before God that Shannon Sharpe should come out here and fumble the ball. Listen, black men, don't we get enough hate in the freaking world than to have to answer and have conversations about a 50-something-year-old man having sex with a 19-year-old girl? This ain't the kind of conversation that I want to have at this age. I'm just being honest. Oh, Lord, I love you, Leah. And that's another reason why I love Leah. See, you know what, Leah? Leah has great conversations. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Leah, and I haven't said, well, I will wait till you come up before I tell you that, because I want you to be able to respond when I tell you what I'm going to tell you. But I agree. Morally deficient and tone deaf. I'm more so on the morally deficient. Because what kind of 50-something-year-old man wants to be somewhere chasing after some young gal like that? Your knees crack. Your footing ain't even that. You know what? It's something to grow old with somebody. The older I get, the more I understand the significance of that. And it's sad that at this stage of my life, I still don't have anybody that I can honestly say that I want to be with. This is honest to God truth. It just is. And can I tell y'all the truth? I'm in full transparency. Yeah, you meet a lot of people you want to sleep with. Let's just keep it a buck. But there are not a lot of people you want to roll over and see the next morning. I'm just going to say there's not a lot of people that you could have a conversation with and really enjoy that conversation. And that conversation elevates you as a human being. And you're like, oh, I like this person. You understand what I'm saying? And plus, you got to keep in mind, everybody in life is always for themselves. You're not coming to the relationship on what you can give. You're coming onto the relationship on what you can get. And in order for us to have a successful relationship, you have to understand you're going to have to come, yes, to get and to give. It's not just about the you receiving, but it's also about you giving. Because marriage is ministry. And let me just talk about Lynn Pearson just for a minute. You can tell when you have a conversation with Lynn and when you have a conversation with a married woman, it is a different type of conversation. And when you have a conversation with a married woman, a lot of times those conversations are so matured, you're not having those surface level conversations like you would have. And I'm gonna go on and say it now, Leah. You can come up late and correct me. The one thing I can tell about Leah's had some good conversations with some men. Leah has had great conversations with some men. And you can tell that she's had great conversations just by the things that comes out of her mouth. I can tell it. I know it to be true. Now, she may not, I can tell some man has definitely challenged Leah in her thoughts and the things that she says and how she's able to articulate it. And Leah does just a phenomenal job at doing it. And I can tell when a woman talks the way Leah talks, that just don't come from her. That also comes from a man. Some man in Leah's life made Leah's whole conversation go to a whole nother level. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And I can tell. I'm not saying that you couldn't have a conversation, Leah, before that man, but I'm just telling you, whoever he was, he blessed your whole life. And I can tell you that to be the truth. I never met him, don't know his name, but I know he did it. Hitaba Shatai. So I'm gonna just tell you, Shannon Sharpe has a whole lot of issues, and I don't even want to go down that route anymore. I'm just telling you, that's my situation with Shannon Sharpe, and I could talk about Shannon Sharpe for 35 more minutes, but I already done kept y'all here for an hour and 32 minutes. But I'm just telling you, Shannon Sharpe has some commitment issues, and he's becoming the R. Kelly of the shade in the Shay room. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease Channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. Shout out to all of you that are supporting the Mad Church Disease channel. Thank you guys so very much for doing so. We just need 4 more of you guys to support the channel, and we will have hit our goal on tonight. Thank you all so much. Now, I didn't put this on the thumbnail, but I just wanted to talk about this just for a hot minute. Will y'all allow me, please? Just for a hot minute. Just for a hot minute. This is Pastor Philip Mitchell. He pastors the 902-103 on the rough side of the mountain church. I know it's one of them numbers. 9335, 6252. I don't know. I don't remember the number. 92, 28, 19. I think it says 28, 22. One of them numbers. Just one of them numbers. Y'all listen to me very carefully. It came out in the media that this gentleman was telling all of Black parents and Black people to teach their children to submit to authority. And he's since apologized for his statement. But I have not heard any of you all talk about the fact that when this man preached this message, he told the people that was in his in the overflow church, in the overflow room, while he's preaching his whole message about people submitting to authority and obeying the laws and doing all the things we're supposed to do, he told the congregation to come in there and sit on the floor. Despite the fire marshal and despite all of the rules and the regulations, he told them people to come in there and sit on the floor. I don't know why none of y'all brought this up, but let me just bring this up. How in the one hand are you going to tell people to obey the law and in the next breath tell the people to disobey the law? When you brought those people in from the overflow and told all them people to sit in the aisle and sit wherever they could and sit on the floor, sir, you were breaking the law. You were breaking the law. How dare you tell us that we needed to obey the law while you turn around and break the law? Is it just me? Did y'all not realize that? Did y'all not catch that? Was I the only person who caught that? What's wrong with y'all? And stop repeating all of these white evangelical talking points because nobody's feeling that. And don't nobody want to hear that. I'm just going to tell you flat out and in all honesty, sir, you're not going to tell me that we don't submit to authority. Who else submits to authority but Black people? Black people submit to authority. Now, this new generation may have an issue because I saw a video the other day that I thought I would never see in my whole life. The young girl actually yanked the police officer's hair. She pulled the police officer's ponytail. I said, oh my God. The police officers are tussling with these young people instead of shooting the shit out of them. And I'm sorry to say this because I have friends who are in law enforcement. Not everybody deserves to not get tased and get their kneecaps blown off. Some of these people deserve to be taught a lesson. You don't come attacking the police and doing some of this crazy stuff that these young people are doing. I'm just saying. You have respect for authority, but just like I said, the reason why they don't have respect for authority because there was an authority in our home. Mama respected daddy. Daddy respected mama. Children respected mama and daddy, right? And I grew up in a house where if you were the younger child, you had to respect the older sibling. You couldn't talk to your older sibling all off the wall and all off the cuff. That wasn't even allowed. Even if your older sibling was wrong, if your older sibling told you to do something and your parents was not there, you had to listen. And if you had to wait till your mama came home so you could tell your mama what your older sibling was doing or was trying to make you do. But you had to, on some level, if it wasn't going to kill you, you had to listen to your older sibling. You had to obey. And you had to respect them. There was an order to things. And one of the reasons why we are in the places that we're in is because of the order. Things are out of whack. Now, this black Haitian man right here, because he ain't even an African American. He's not even American. I think he's from Haiti, Haitian, whatever. Habutu. He's one of these Habutu people. I don't know exactly. I know he's Haitian, they said. Listen to me carefully. In the words of Daryl Moore, he's one of these drum beat niggas. I'm an American. I don't know nothing about all of that. I'm just saying, if you got offended, hey, it is what it is. We in America, you in America now too. If you like where you was living at, you'd have kept your black ass there. So don't come over here trying to tell us black Americans how we supposed to do everything and what we're supposed to do. Don't come over here with that. And you're not going to keep referring to me as no, you can do it if you like. Talking about some African American shit. I don't know shit about Africa. All I know is there's lions, tigers, monkeys, and all kind of shit over there. That's all I know. I ain't even never stepped foot on the continent over there on the continent. What are you talking about? I am an American. If you send me, like I saw a video yesterday. Oh Lord, I done went all off the cuff. I saw a video the other day. The man was driving down the road and a monkey, a big gorilla, was running on the side of the road. A big old gorilla. Could you imagine if you was in some place in America where a big gorilla was rolling down the freeway as you was driving? You would lose your shit and you would never come out of your car. And these people are just so comfortable talking to folks. About lions, tigers, and bears. I don't live in no place where lions can roam free. I would never. Are you kidding me? I would find the quickest way to the passport office and to get me a visa so I could come to America so I wouldn't have to be running from no cobras and all of this kind of foolishness. That's why we're over here. God has blessed us. I'm over here because God has blessed me. You was over there because God had blessed you, but he blessed you to bring yourself over here. Don't come over here trying to talk to Americans like we need to stoop to some different kind of level, like we don't know where we are. Are you kidding me? Who the hell do you all think you are coming to America talking to us all off the cuff and all out of character? You over here enjoying the strength and the freedom to go to the water and to the beach and all of those places and roam wherever you wanted to roam without having to be run down by a monkey or a gorilla. And you want to come over here and tell me how I'm supposed to live? You better kiss my pecan tan ass and enjoy the accoutrements that all of the African folks worked so hard for us to get. And now we've crescendoed into this African American phase, but we don't forget our ancestors and the work that they have done. And it is a tremendous disrespect for all of you who are forgetting what our ancestors have done. And it is a tremendous disrespect for some of you to speak about Dr. King the way that you all do. I'm sorry. It is a disrespect. Those black people gave up their lives for us to vote. They gave up their lives so that we could do what we needed to do in our lives, people. And you want to sit up and tell me you don't want to vote and you don't want to go cast a vote because your vote don't count. Do you know the things that black people had to do just to go vote? Will you please go educate your stupid ass self and stop saying this dumb stuff? I don't want to hear nobody else tell me as an adult, you refuse to vote. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't even want to be friends with your black ass. If I'm going to tell the truth, I don't even want to be friends with you no more. If you're going to tell me you don't vote, we are living in the bullshit that we're having to go through right now with that orangutan in chief, because some of you chose that you did not want to vote. I don't want to be friends with no adult who doesn't value and the privilege of being able to go vote. I don't want to be friends anymore with you. And I'm telling you right now, if you on my Facebook or I find out about you and you talking about you don't want to vote and you don't want to vote no more, and you find out that you disappeared off of my Facebook and off my friends list, now you will know why. Because I'm at a different stage and phase of my life. And at this age, I have worked too damn hard. I have built too much stuff. And I do not want to hear nobody's talking about you not going to vote. When people died, Fannie Lou Hamer and so many other people came before us, and you want to sit up here and talk about you don't want to vote. You can go to hell is what you can do. You dumb ninja. You a dumb ninja. I don't even want to know you. You go over there with them dumb people. You go over there. You go over there. I don't want to be friends with you. This is not that kind of channel. This is a mature person's channel. This is a channel of adults who got jobs and work and mortgages and things. This is not this. I'm not your that kind of vlogger. I'm not going to sit over here all day and be going back and forth. with folks. I'm just not doing it. I'll say what I want to say and move on. But I'm just not going to do it. You sitting up talking about you don't want to vote. You's a dummy. You are a dummy. You are a absolute dummy. And I'm not going to take it back. I'm not going to apologize. You are a dummy. And it's going to take at least 20 to 30 years to repair what this dummy, this orangutan in chief is doing. Do you know some of us won't even be alive by the time y'all finally fix the shit that's about to happen to this country? Hakeem Jeffries and these people sitting on the steps right now because of Medicaid. Because they're trying, man, these people trying to cut all kinds of stuff. Medicaid is our grandparents. Medicaid is the older saints and the people that are on Medicaid and they're using Medicaid. And you want to come up here telling me too much you don't want to vote? Let me move on. Philip Mitchell, stop breaking the law and stop trying to tell everybody else that we need to obey the law while you breaking the law. You're supposed to obey when the fire marshal tell you you're not supposed to cloud all of that other stuff. I'm just saying, don't play with me. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. I'm just saying. Now on to this Dr. Scrotum Sniffer. let me address Dr. Scrotum Sniffer here for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take a breath before I do this. Shout out to all of you that are supporting the show. I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. I just need 3 more of you all to do $10 and we will have met our budget for the night. Thank y'all. Yes, I done said a mouthful, Sharon. I'm so sorry. Let me pause. Because I'm gonna call this a digital letter or virtual letter to Larry Reid. This is my virtual letter to Larry Reid. Because I'm trying to tell y'all I'm in a different place in a different space. This is my virtual letter to Dr. Scrotum Sniffer. And yeah, I'll keep calling you that, Larry. And you know why I call you that, and I'm not going to get into that no more. But let me tell you this, Larry, in all truthfulness, with all due respect. Larry, I can commend you for what you did way back in 2015, 2014, coming on the internet, on Facebook, and shifting how vloggers were vlogging by taking live phone calls on Facebook and on YouTube, because that's something that I had not seen a lot of church vloggers and people in the church space do. I will give you full credit for that. That was Larry Reid. Y'all can get mad about that all you want to, like I done told you. Facts are facts. Truth is true. Larry did that. Period, point blank. Moving right along. But here's my issue with you, Larry. Let me be truthful. I watched your program, Larry. I supported your program, Larry. And for a short period of time, I understood what you were trying to do when you first started your program. Larry, you lied. You lied to all of us. You told us certain things about what you said God told you to do, that you did a 180-degree turn. You do a 360, whichever one it is. You turned around, you lied to us, Larry. And the more you started reporting on these stories, Larry, I lost a tremendous amount of respect for you. What you did to Juanita Bynum and how you went after Juanita Bynum was atrocious. I don't even like these preachers. Even when I was on the radio and I didn't like the preachers, I never did some of the nasty work that you all have done on this here internet. Some of you are just nasty with it. I told the truth about my pastoral experiences. I told the truth about the things that I've seen and I heard, and I gave commentary to those things. And I talked about the things that were public. Larry, my first introduction to you was that young man, Joshua Holmes, where you put out his sex tapes. Come on, Larry, let's talk. Open letter, Larry. You put out that man's sex tapes and you put your logo across that man's video and share that information with the world. And you were consistently sharing sex tapes and all of those types of things. Now you're talking to a group of Christian people who are trying to serve God and who are trying to discipline their lives under the teachings of Jesus Christ. And you want to come out here and lay all of this stuff out and think that we're all supposed to gobble it up. Because basically, from what I was told by one of your childhood friends, oh yes, and I have talked to them too, you said that the niggas were just going to come and they was going to watch because the niggas was going to come and watch. That's what you said. Listen to me, Larry. That works for a little while, Larry. But when people learn your character and learn who you are, and they can put you up and look at the mirror of who you are, Larry, a lot of people just don't like what they see. They don't like what they see, not just because of those things, but it encompasses all of the person of who you are, Larry. You lied. You told us all of these falsities, and then you're mad at people for holding you to an expectation that you won't even hold yourself to. It's insanity, Larry. You run around here telling people you paper Bible saved, but you have whole male lovers. You had young men in your past who have allegedly accused you of alleged essaying them. You lied, Larry. That's what you did. And so you cannot get mad at us for talking about you the way that we talk about you and dealing with you the way that I'm going to deal with you every time I feel like I want to discuss your scrawny black ass. That is exactly what I'm going to do. You can get mad all you want to. You are overcompensating for your lack of intellect, your lack of good looks, your lack of your lack of taste, all of that shit that you wear over there with all of that gaudy shit and all of that jewels hanging around your neck. All of that stuff is you trying to compensate for the things that you did not have in your childhood or that you've never experienced in your life. But those of us who've had diamonds and those of us who've had gold chains and those of us who've worn designer clothes, we don't need to come out here bragging and showing all of our stuff. Shit, the other show I showed up in a polo shirt and these people damn near lost their minds. Marcellus got on a polo shirt. Is that a new shirt? No, it's in my closet and I've got several. I don't wear them all the time on this here show because I'm at home. When I get off of here, I'm going to bed. I'm just saying, I'm going to bed. I'm going to go lay down somewhere. So I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be all looking all stiff and stuffy. That's for Don Lemon at 7:30 in the morning. That's for y'all to go look at Don. Don be clean every morning. And to be honest with you, that must I must send a shout out to the LGBTQIA community because them niggas be dressing. I'm just saying. Them niggas be dressing. That Don Lemon be dressed every day. I looked at a shirt Don Lemon had on today. I said, dog, I got to find out where he got that shirt from. I got to find out where. But listen here, Larry, you lied to us. And even you won't even tell the truth about the conversations that you and I had. And then you think that I'm going to come out here on this here internet and not hold you accountable and not keep talking about you because you can't even tell the truth about basic shit. And you tried to make me think that, oh, well, the stuff that Marcellus is saying is not true. Well, my members have access to the video of you calling out my name on your damn program and using my middle name that nobody knew at the time under that new Facebook page that I had. They can see and clearly hear the bullshit that you said because I put the video in the membership. Shout out to all of the members who support the Mad Church Disease program. If you guys have not heard it, it's in the membership. So don't come over here, Larry, trying to pretend like you didn't say what you did and you didn't do what you did. Larry, I don't have any expectation for you to apologize. Understand, those days are over. I've long since moved past that. But I'm going to roast your black ass every chance I get. Every chance I feel like talking about you, Larry, and the crooked shit that you do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about you because you want to be famous. What did you say? I'm popular. Isn't that what you said? Where's Daryl Moore? I'm popular. Isn't that what you said? I'm popular. Well, if you popular, Larry, then you enjoy this popularity because I'm going to roast your ass every chance I feel like roasting you. I sure am. You're just living your life the way you're living your life because you're scared of that damn trailer. What sense does it make, Larry, for you to be living in all of these rental places and not owning a piece of property, you dumb bastard? You ought to have sense enough to know that you ought to go get a place of your own. And if you get in apartments for your daughter, that means to tell me that your daughters are going to be able to live something that you've never been able to live or experience. They're going to be able to go get jobs and live out on their own with a minimal support from their father. Okay. And I would hope that your girls would go and get some jobs so they can get from underneath the tyranny of their father. Because you've damn near ruined their relationship with their mama. We all saw it. I'm just saying, we saw how you talked to their mother. We saw how you dealt with their mother, and people lost respect for you, dude. Why can't you just face the fact that it has nothing to do with just the vlogging aspect of it? You are just not a good person, sir. You are a bad person. You think you rule by money and try to rule, you use your money to gain influence. But people who are not moved by money, who've had money and who've lived their life, they're not moved by those things. I cannot be bought out by a cash app so that I can order DoorDash and sit in a swivel chair or a hover chair and hope and wish for the best and go plop my ass down somewhere. You can't buy me, because I don't buy my shirts off of the internet because I'm so big that the only place that I can go get my shirts is from Annan's Linens or some fabric store, because you know they're gonna have to sew all the fabric in it because I'm too damn fat to go to a regular big and tall store so I can go get some regular clothes. That's your cash apps would never move me to that point, and it would never move any self-integral vlogger to that point. We cannot be bought or sold, sir. This is the reason why you are experiencing the stuff from vloggers the way that you're experiencing stuff with vloggers. You're just not a good person, Larry, and you're lying, and we can hear you lie, and you've told several lies, and we just call you out on your lies. You don't have to like it, Larry. It is what it is, bro. Just deal with it. If you mad that we talking about you, oh well. And let's talk about your rebranding. Let me talk about your rebrand. Listen here, you can put a tuxedo on a pig, but it will always return to the slop. Larry, every time you and them other two blind mice get together over there, you are returning to the slop. Oh, I'm rebranding, all while going over to them two blind mice and rolling around in the slop and talking shit about other people, and don't think that we're not going to address you at some particular point in time. And you have a whole nerve to call somebody ugly. You have a whole fucking nerve. Larry, you look like a struggle piece of shit. You look like the kind of shit that falls out of somebody's ass after they've struggled to get it out. You remember when Bobby had to go help Whitney with that piece of boo-boo that wasn't quite coming out of her behind, and he went up in there to try to help Whitney get that thing out? That's you, Larry. You the piece of shit that just won't fall to the point to where we can just get rid of you. Shout out to K Rich for renewing your membership. Larry, that's who you are, Larry. You are the church's piece of shit. And we have nobody to thank but ourselves, because the church produced the piece of shit known as Larry Darnell Reid. The church produced this shit. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. I'm even going to stand up and say, church, we produced Larry Reid. This is some bullshit. And we have to acknowledge the fact, all of you bishops and all of you pastors that know Larry and that was in Larry's life, y'all produced Larry Reid. You are the reason why he's on the internet talking this bullshit to my people don't need pastors and all of this other bullshit that he's doing. You are the reason why he is doing that, because y'all allowed this swishing ass ninja. Lord, I started to say something. Whew, Lord, I'm on one, I know. Y'all allowed him to run around here switching and swishing. Because if anybody who's ever seen Larry walk, you ain't got no question. You should have no question as to who he is. And I don't know any man who wants to always be surrounded by a bunch of other dudes. I need some feminine energy at some point. At some point, I need to be able to go and sniff somebody's neck who smells delicious. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying for the LGBTQIA community, y'all don't have nobody whose neck smell delicious to y'all. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying it from my perspective. Every now and then, I need to go and I need to see that little slit in between them titties. I have to see it. Oh, yes, I do. Praise God. I have to be near it. I can't be surrounded by a whole bunch of rusty belt ninjas. Are you kidding me? I don't even want people up on the platform. When we had the A team, I wanted 2 women and 2 men. I didn't want no bunch of dudes up on the screen having no conversation, because women bring a piece to the conversation that men could never bring. I'm just saying. I'm gonna drop the link. Leah, I'm dropping this link first for you. I want to hear your response to my statement, and I want to hear your voice. That's all. That's all. I'm just saying. But I'm just telling you all, give me a break. Larry, that's my comment to you on tonight. Listen here, sir. You're getting what you have put out. And so don't get mad. Then now people are talking about you, and we're going to talk about you. And guess what, Larry? We're going to follow you everywhere you go. And every time you think that you're going to make a step, we're going to remind these people about these alleged allegations against you. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are, sir. Oh, yes, we are. So you just know that's always going to be in your future. It's not in your past, because guess what, Larry? Your character has run past any of your abilities, and it's going to meet you in your future. Your character is nasty. Your disposition is nasty. Your mistakes that you have done in your past that have ruined people's lives is nasty. You understand me? So guess what? For the rest of us, grace and mercy has run past the judgment of God. And that's why grace and mercy is what meets us in our future. What has run past you, Larry, is all of the death and destruction that you have caused in the lives of other people. And you cannot get mad that it now reverberates in your future and keeps meeting you at the most inopportune times. It's going to meet you at the most inopportune times because of the wickedness of the stuff that you have done and how you have crushed other people's lives, Larry. You need to understand that. If that's the case, Larry, you need to go find Victor Cousins, and you need to tell Victor Cousins and fall at his feet and apologize for the bullshit that you did. And you allowed Andrea Garrison up on your platform to lie. Larry, you know she was lying. We all know she was lying at this point. You owe Victor Cousins a fucking apology, bro. All he did was sleep with a woman. He was a single man, and he was doing what he was doing. Aren't you doing what you were doing with all your damn masseuses? And what you was doing over there with Vincent? Isn't that what you was doing, sir? What up, Leah?
Well, hello.
Well,
Tell
hello.
us how you really feel.
But isn't that the truth? Am I lying?
No, I don't like you pulling me into that.
Well, listen, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing, Leah. Just let me hang out here. I don't want to bring you into nothing, because I don't want nobody to drag you into nothing. Let me just say, those words were my words. Those were not Leah's words. Those were mine. So, Leah, change the subject and we'll go on to something else.
um, I was just coming up because
Uncle
you had
Paul, but
mentioned it real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. Uncle Paul, well, get your damn ass out then. I don't want your motherfucking ass over here no damn way.
Oh,
If you coming over here and that's your immediate response, get your avatar having ass out of my chat. Be gone, dummy. Be gone. I'm sorry.
ah. Okay. First of all, your commentary is hilarious. You are you going crazy tonight. I'm feeling it though. That's dope. Shannon Sharpe is a moral disgrace.
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
and, and not because of his preferences and his choices, whatever, that's you, but you're at the pinnacle and the peak of your career from
Absolutely.
a whole rebrand. Not
Right.
just, it's not like you haven't been through this before. You've been through this a couple of times. Like, bruh, you got everybody out here calling you unk, and you exercise no wisdom. That really was, it was pretty sad to see.
Yeah, I don't call him Unc. I can't believe people really do that.
They call him unk. I mean, he old enough to be our uncle.
Well, that's that other generation. I'm not calling no Shannon Sharpe no uncle. He could never be an uncle of mine. My uncle would never be caught in these uncompromising situations. I'm just saying.
Facts. Facts. But yes, I did grow up with my dad. My real dad and my mom divorced when I was like 9. But my stepdad came through when I was probably, I don't know, 13, 14, and he's been a consistent
Mm,
voice in my life down through the years. And he doesn't talk a lot, but when he does say stuff, you just be feeling real stupid. You be like, "Damn,
mm,
I should have thought about that."
mm. Well, but I think a lot of us guys, and believe it or not, the people that know me, to them I talk a whole lot because I'm on the phone with them every day. These moderators, to them I'm just yip yapping all the time. Plus I'm a vlogger, so they think in my regular life I'm yip yapping all the time. Understand something? Most men of wisdom speak when they're moved to speak.
hmm
Most men do not speak unless they're moved and they feel an inclination that there is a piece missing that needs to be added to, that they feel like they can contribute to the conversation. Okay.
That's good.
I think when and this is how I know this about you. And you've never told me this, but I knew this by talking to you. Any woman that talks the way that you and Lynn and some other women that I know speak, you can tell that these women know men and they've had conversations with men and they know how to navigate themselves around a man, right? And it's a different type of conversation and you can hear it in how they speak. It's just
Definitely.
something that you guys have. I'm just saying.
No, definitely. There is a I was also born 1980, so I was raised a little bit different, you know what I mean? There's a
Mm.
certain respect level that I do have. And then you're right. I was married for 12 years and I had my dad in the house. So there's just a certain tone of a man that I don't like to hear. I've heard my dad get upset maybe twice in my life, and it completely scared the bananas out of me. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
just the raising of his tone. And I was a grown woman the last time he got upset, and he came to the top of the stairs, and it was just the way he said, "What's going on?" I froze. I was like, "Nothing." I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a grown woman at this point, but there's just a certain register that you guys reach. You don't have to put your hands on me. You ain't got to touch me. I have a respect for the black man. And then I understand the plight. I understand how our men, just like us, but we're talking about men right now,
Right.
our men are fought on literally every side. Shannon Sharpe,
Absolutely.
the nuances with Shannon Sharpe is just insane. The fact
Can
that
I
he was
let
targeted.
me ask you this before you go on. My
Go ahead.
my comparison to him and R. Kelly, do you see some similarities there?
I can't agree with that. I
Okay.
understand it.
Oh,
I
this is why I
understand
like Leah too. She disagreed. Let's go.
it. I understand it and I get it, but I don't agree with the R. Kelly statement just because he plays in the shallow end of the pond, but he doesn't go on the beach. Or the
Mm.
shallow end of the ocean, but he doesn't go on the beach.
Who you talking about? Sharp?
Yes.
Okay.
You get where I'm going with
I
that?
get where
So
you're
he's a
going. I'm
big
listening.
fish coming to you know how sometimes the sharks come to the shore, but they don't actually go on the beach. They're just kind of down there hanging out.
Right.
That's how I would vision him.
But my
Envision.
comparison to him was more on the emotional intelligence level. Because in order for you to have a relationship with a grown woman, you have to be mature and have an emotional intelligence that can handle a grown woman's conversation. Because a grown woman's conversation is different from a 19-year-old woman's conversation. And when I spoke about the R. Kelly, I'm talking about from the emotional standpoint because R. Kelly could only talk to little girls. Because grown women were not going to have those types of conversations with R. Kelly, and neither are they going to have it with Shannon Sharpe. That's what I meant as far as the comparison. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay, respectfully, yes, I do understand that. I don't think that Shannon is entertaining these women in that way. I think that it's a means to an end. I think that he has a very strong stronghold that has a grip on him, and that kink or that fetish or whatever he's into, whether it be a spirit thing or a natural thing, or he just
Mm,
getting one off, I really believe that he felt like he was above board because he could just pay for what he wants
mm.
versus cultivating a relationship that will yield him the desires that he wants and the person actually care for his well-being.
Okay.
You get
Um,
me?
I totally get you. I totally
Now,
get you.
R. Kelly he's been a disgrace since day one, messing with beyond coming on the shore and putting his fins up and putting on legs and acting like he is a human when
Right.
he's a whole ugh. Anyway, yeah, he's a complete predator. I don't think that about Shannon. I think that he likes him young. Should he do teen 19, 20, 21? No, he's 60. You old enough to be this child's grandmother. But at the end of the day, he's legal. So I'm not going to crucify him for that because I can't
Right.
legally.
Well, I think part of the reason why he's experiencing what he's experiencing is for the same reason so many of these other people experience this. You're trying to live a life out in public that you don't have the character behind the scenes to sustain. And I always say whoever you are behind the scenes is eventually going to shine through in the public. Like people are going to really be able to see you for who you are. You're not going to be able to come out here even on YouTube and on these public spaces and just be able to pretend and pretend and pretend. People are going to be able to see you for who and what you are, Leah. And I feel like you're now seeing a part of Shannon Sharpe that we should never have seen or known about. But it's a character flaw in him, and it's something that needed to be seen, and people needed to be able to see it.
Agreed. But this is not the first time he's been in court behind these vices that he has with older and younger women,
Wow. Okay.
taking advantage of the situation. He's had many accusations, nothing that has been, quote unquote, founded or whatever, but he's had many accusations. So this is not the first time he's been around this mountain. I think this is just the most public it's been because he's actually put his foot into black culture, into black pop culture.
Oh,
So
okay.
now you have a completely different audience who don't play that.
Right. Right. Because
We're
black
not having
culture,
it.
right. Black people are more conservative. I keep trying to tell people, I was just having dinner the other night with somebody. I said, I'd be so glad when y'all figure out black people are conservative. Black people are more liberal in public, but in their private life, we are a very conservative group of people, you all.
In our
We
values, absolutely.
yeah, we y'all you people pretend like we're not conservative, but black people is conservative. And that's another reason why they play to that sort of aspect to us to get our vote. They try to play to the conservative nature of black people because they know on a larger scale black people are not down with a lot of stuff, and so they try to get us over on their side. But I'm also at the age now to where I'm tired of y'all trying to pick and choose what sin y'all gonna hamper on if you think that a certain thing is a sin. Now I'm gonna tell you something I heard, Leah, and I'm gonna let you speak.
Mhm.
I heard this woman say something this morning that blessed my soul. She said, whatever you put the emphasis on the end of your statement is really what you meant, not what you started to say in the beginning. She says, if you start a sentence off with love the sinner but hate the sin, the emphasis is not on the love, it's on the hate.
Mm.
And for most people, you're not hating the sin, you're hating the person. And you're
Yeah.
hating the person all while being saying, oh, I'm just hating the sin. No, because if the person that leaves your life or walks away from your life doesn't experience or feel God's love, then what you in essence have done is you have decapitated their ability to really even experience or understand using their intellect the love of God.
Facts.
So you have to change it. And this is what she said. And it's going forever. This is forever the change in my life. And I thank God for letting me hear this. She said, you know what? You have to say, hate the sin, love the sinner. Flip it. I hate
Hmm.
sin. God hates sin, but I love the sinner and I love the person that is even in their mess and in their situation. I love them. And at the end of the day, I want them to experience that love. And I don't want them to come to my life feeling like my life is a courtroom and I'm here to judge them. I want them to feel
Hmm.
God's love. That's all I'm saying.
Facts. And I agree with you on that. I 100% agree with you. God dealt with me some years ago when I went through my divorce. I asked him to put love in my heart, not just for my ex-husband, but for my people, so that I wouldn't be bitter and walk into new relationships and friendships. And when I say relationships, I'm just saying it as a whole,
Right.
with bitterness and a callous heart. And the very thing that he showed me was that forgiveness literally means to allow room for error. So I don't judge people as harsh as I used to, because at the end of the day, I can't say that I would never do something, because you just never know until you're in that situation.
Wow. Absolutely.
And
Mm,
with it, when it comes to Shannon, he is not exempt from the moral judgment that he's receiving, and he pretty much deserves it, because he should have been more protective of his own legacy, not
mm,
us. We shouldn't be
absolutely.
as outraged as we are, and he's not. I think that's what's getting a lot of the African American women like in an uproar, because okay, you like him in different tones and textures and whatever you like, you paying for the freakiness because you know you're not gonna get it from a, well, you could, but you just
Yeah,
don't
you
want to do
can.
the searching.
Right.
You paying to play you a trick, and you cool with it because you got the money to do it.
Right.
Cool, do you? But at this time in your life, you judging other people on your show, you are coming at people viciously with your questioning, and your line of question is very
Right.
judgmental and very, very accusatory.
Accusatory.
I
Accusatory.
just wanted to slow down.
Uh-huh.
Accusatory. And then you turning around, and in your secret life, you doing not what they're doing, but worse.
Right.
Sir, hush.
Absolutely.
Sir, hush. We
Absolutely.
love you. We love you, Shannon, but hush.
And I think that's what DL Hughley kind of alluded to. And when he talks about Shannon Sharpe, he talks about Shannon Sharpe becoming that place where people just come to do all of that biting other people. You know what I'm saying? Instead
Yeah.
of, coming to give their commentary and, give an interview, it ceased to be that. And then it turned into something else. Now I'm going to tell you the God's the honest truth. I
Hmm.
like Club Shay Shay. I
I do
like
too.
his interview style. I do think on some level he needs to elevate how his questions. I think sometimes maybe he needs to get a staff of people who can ask some more in-depth questions, because I feel like sometimes those are just surface level questions. Let me tell you something, Leah.
Hmm.
Now, if I really was able to interview people the way I want to, I can go deep into some stuff, right?
Hmm.
And but some people aren't ready for those types of conversations. And because I know some people are new here, there's some conversations that I feel like on sometimes I can't even have, because some of you, and I'm not saying all of you in the chat, some of y'all are just not mature enough to have those types of conversations. Because I got a conversation that I've been wanting to have with y'all for quite a long time, but I can't
Lord.
have it yet because I know it's going to get out on the internet. And
Yeah.
then I'm just be like, oh
You're not
man,
gonna be able to walk it back.
yes. And then, but it's a
Okay, wait.
conversation.
Can we address something really quickly?
Sure.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No,
But
you good.
ladies. Okay, I see y'all commenting, and I feel you because I have a daughter and she's only 12. So I understand where y'all coming from. But this young lady is not a child. We cannot liken her to a child. And I'm going to tell you why I'm standing on business. Y'all don't attack me yet. Don't snatch my wig just yet. Y'all hold on. Tasha Global and
You
all
got
y'all.
some
I see
support. You
y'all.
got some support. Moni in here is agreeing with you already. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see y'all. I do. But let me just address a couple of things, okay? That girl is not a child because, number one, she's selling her body as an adult woman in this world.
Mm,
She is not to be compared to our children. You can't do that. Once she got into the level of kinks that she's in, the BDSM, have you read the text messages that this girl was talking about?
I couldn't. I just couldn't. I
It
couldn't even
was
listen.
complete and utter foolishness. Okay? I can't even imagine a black man allowing a woman to speak to him in that tone. How did you not get enraged? Like what? That's my anyway. I don't even want to know about. I don't even want to
Is
know
that
about
the
his
part where
brain.
she was talking about drink your black babies or something? I
Yeah,
heard.
she wanted him to put a black baby in her, and
Hmm.
she wanted him to do some other kinky things to her, sexually, that was beyond, it was getting into the borderline animalistic type stuff. You know what I'm saying? She out there. She's
Right.
not, no, this ain't no child. This
Right.
woman is, no, she's not. I'm sorry. She's doing what she's being paid to do. So when y'all say that, it's almost like you're trying to make him a predator when he's actually not. And I understand why you're saying that he's a predator, but that also is damning to him because it's just not true. In the court of law, that's not going to come up.
Mm,
You could morally feel all how you feel. I respect it again. But
mm.
nah, this ain't no little girl. She a grown woman. She's selling her behind, and he ain't the first one, and he was a target. They brought him down a little bit. I will see what he has to pay out, if he has to pay out. I think he's gonna win the case though.
Well, I don't think. Well, if he has to pay out, then that consider his offering to the Lord for being so stupid. Um, if he has to pay out, but I feel like he shouldn't have to pay out. And listen, I would rather have to pay. Well, this is me personally. This is me personally, and please don't judge me.
Hmm.
I would have rather paid a black woman millions of dollars than to pay this white girl some millions of dollars for a trust or a tryst or whatever we had. I would feel more. I would feel better playing into a black woman. If I had to pay this kind of money to some little 19-year-old white girl, I would be on an episode of the first 48. Y'all would be listening at them say, for homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking the moment they're gone.
Facts.
I'm
But I
not
mean,
kidding.
because your 18 or 19-year-old, first of all, she probably still scared of you. This girl got a mama and a daddy, and she got her whole cheeks out on the internet. There's
Yeah.
just some things that I'm just not going to do as a 40 plus year old woman because my mother and my daddy are still alive.
Yeah. And
It
they
just is
know
what it
you.
is. These are not the comparisons. We can't
And they
compare
know
her.
you got to go
She
over for
ain't,
dinner. You got
yeah,
to
she
walk
ain't
through
one
the
of them.
door.
I don't want, if I see her hanging out with my daughter, I'm breaking that relationship up.
Oh,
That is not
listen,
your friend. And don't bring her back to my house. Absolutely
listen,
not.
listen. That whole situation, but they also live lives a different way. A lot of those people live their lives a different way, and we live. And Shannon knows better than this. He was raised better than this. He
Yes, and I
knows
agree with
better
the
than
ladies on
this.
that. I agree with you on that. He was the one that should have been wise in protecting his legacy and his family. You thinking about your
Absolutely.
family now? You wasn't thinking about him when you was letting her talk about that black baby great. Oh my
Yeah, yeah. Drinking black bait. But listen, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, Leah. No, no lie. The other morning,
Lord have mercy.
I
I
pulled
can't.
up Don Lemon, and I was
I
getting ready to
can't.
watch Don Lemon. The first thing out of Don Lemon's mouth was Shannon Sharpe, and I just wasn't prepared for the conversation. I had to turn Don Lemon off. I said, I don't want to hear this conversation. He started playing the recording. I said, I'm out of here. I said, I don't want to hear the recording. I don't want to see the text messages. This is a situation that I just don't even want to be a part of. Am I going to deep dive into the text messages and the conversation? Leah, I don't know. I'm not there. Uh-oh. I'm just not there.
I'm sorry about that. I listened to a couple of hours of commentary, and I listened to the entire um, case. I don't know what they call it, the case law, whatever it is that they submitted,
Mm,
be read, and it's pretty. It's even for me, and I'm pretty free thinking when it comes to that area of my life, but it's nasty. It's
mm.
nasty work, and
Mm.
I really pray for him because he should have any real in NIGGA would have seen that coming a mile away.
Yeah, why you texting all this nasty stuff? You know you're leaving a trail of breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
Oh,
they would have seen that a mile away. She would have been on the block somewhere. She would have been on the blade. Cut it out.
listen
Come on,
here.
Shannon. You got
I
to do
I'll
better.
text you a couple of things if you my wife.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But then
Right.
again, I'm not texting a whole bunch of stuff to not to even then because she gonna be able to show everybody these text messages. There's certain things I'm just not gonna be putting in no darn text messages. I'll be there in 15 minutes, baby. I'm on my way.
Yeah, he been messing with this girl for 2 years. And also, I just want to clarify, you guys, that in the court documents, it says that she submitted. She says she met him before her, not before, but on her 21st, around her 21st birthday.
Oh wow. So she
She
wasn't
turned,
19.
no, she was not. She turned
Oh
21
wow,
in
okay.
December. She is now 23. She turned 23 in December of last year. They only been messing around for 2 years. Come on,
Mm,
y'all. So let's, when we putting stuff out, this is an attack. And again, that's why I say I pray for Shannon, because he should have seen it a mile away. This is an attack on a man who is elevating. And every time we get a good one that has stood in the face and been bold about discrimination and different things and stand up against said powers that be, they instantly get taken down. And
hmm.
again, I'm not excusing his behavior, guys.
Right.
I'm just saying, let's make the main thing the main thing. He didn't legally do anything wrong to be sitting in court, and she did not go to the police. She went to a lawyer. This is a setup.
Correct. And
Opinion, in my
and
opinion, in my
yeah,
humblest opinion.
yeah, because well, good point, Leah. Thank you. Because if she was raped, why didn't she go have a rape kit done? Because
Come
according
on.
to her, she said she was raped twice.
Yeah.
I'm
She
just
was there. She was there for the Michelle video that leaked, and there's like three Michelles, but she was there for the Michelle video that leaked on Instagram. So this girl, she ain't no. She's not a child. This is a grown woman playing a game.
mm,
She messed up the bag on the first 10 mil, and now it's a little bit further out there than what everybody expected.
mm.
So here we are, we in deep water, and his lawyers have filed a defamation suit. So I don't know that this young girl is going to get what she gains. They may mediate, and she may walk away with some coin. But
I don't see her walking away with any money. And if she did, it's because he just acquiesced to the request. Because she's got money too. She's an OnlyFans person. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? If you're
hmm
gonna be over there on that OnlyFans showing all of your God's business, then them people over there making money. It's not like she's broke.
exactly.
Because according
Yeah,
to Shannon Sharpe, he say he date his income level. Is that what I heard on
that's
that
what he
clip?
said. That's
That's
what
what
he
he said.
said. God bless
Mhm.
him. You know what I mean? And the reason I shy away from judging people harshly like that. And again, ladies, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. So please don't get me. Y'all don't wear me out. I'm not saying, because I agree that at my big age of 40 plus, there's no way that a 21-year-old would even be in my, I wouldn't even go to dinner. I wouldn't entertain you. The most you can do is open my door when I walk in the grocery store.
Well, CC say she should get 25,000 per cheek. All
That's what
right.
she told him in the text messages.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell
Mhm.
you right now, K Rich. No the hell I'm not. I'm not doing no deep research on no damn Shannon Sharp. Not me. I don't care. I don't. I don't care that much to be doing no research about him. I'm sorry to say. I know you and Leah just now make me aware of the fact that he's been doing this and has a pattern of behavior. But I'm not researching this ninja. He gets what he get.
Yeah, yeah, Tara, I get you, sis. I really do. I'm not negating that, because I understand what you're saying. But he's fighting a different fight. He's fighting for his reputation, and he's fighting for the legal aspect of it,
And his
because she's
business.
making some terrible accusations. And don't think that the feds can't get involved. They love putting what they call in the RICO. They love trying to gather up little bits and pieces of breadcrumbs and putting together something. If
But
he's flown her out, if he's made, had her go anywhere. This is so much deeper than what people
mhm.
are thinking. And it's unfortunate that he even did this to himself. He's an idiot.
Tasha Global said she was using what she got to get what she want.
Listen, come on. I know Tasha know what I'm talking about, but she right though. I feel y'all.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope Leah he's able to get himself out of this situation, but not just because he's Shannon Sharp. If you've ever been to court, let me tell y'all something. A lot of you all who speak about court things, if you've never been in a court situation, you don't know what that is like. Let me tell you something. These people don't care nothing about the truth. Y'all listen to me very carefully. When these people take you to court, it's about who can put their thoughts together and their lies together to make it look a certain type of way. You could be telling the truth all you want to, because you done swore to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and so help you God. And guess what? Everybody after you do that, everybody start lying. And you got to sit there and watch these people lie on you and say all kind of stuff. And you just like, what in God's green earth is going on here? And that never happened. And you got to sit there and take it. Do you know what that feels like? You have no idea.
You
None.
telling the truth. You telling the whole truth.
It's bad. You'll be sitting in the courtroom crying because you listening to that people talk about somebody and you trying to think, you in your mind thinking, are they talking about me?
It's really sad and it's overshadowing, man, the success of what's that show he has with Ocho Cinco? I don't even really watch, but
I don't even watch that, so I can't even tell you.
I forget the name of the show. But they have a highly top rated sports analyst show.
What's it
They
called?
have
Rose Gold? It's
30,000.
probably called Rose
No,
Gold.
no, no. It's called something else. But
I'm joking.
Rose Gold is crazy. But they have like 30,000, 20,000 viewers in their show at any given time when they go live. That man he's hit the peak.
Yeah, he's doing great work, and that's why that other dude went after him. That the other vlogger,
Nightcap. That's it.
not just him. What was the other one that used to do all the that still does? He's not black. He does all the black interviews.
Oh, child, I don't know. I don't know nothing
What's
about
that? What's
sports.
that guy you guys on the internet that with the guy that went after Shannon Sharpe, talking about his views and was talking about Shannon? He just mad because Shannon kind of went past his views.
Oh, I don't
He's the
know. Who
white
is
guy.
that? And he's a
Uh,
sports analyst?
no, he's not a sports analyst. He interview all the black people on
You
YouTube.
talking about Vlad TV or
Vlad
something?
TV.
Oh, child, we're not about to put him in no kind of rotation.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Because
It
Vlad
ain't
went
gonna happen.
after Shannon because he got jealous of Shannon, and that's when I stopped watching Vlad's interviews. I was like, I'm not supporting this dude anymore. I'm pissed off at that dude. Like you over here, you leeching off our community. We let you leech off the community. You done made probably millions of dollars on the community, and then when one black man becomes successful, you go and attack him, and you think we gonna keep supporting you? I don't think
Baby,
so, Vlad.
Vlad TV has the nuances. I mean, no shade, no tea, because I don't really know what be going on behind the scenes. But all I know is that everybody that go over there that has something going on in their background, they get caught and they go to jail. So I don't even talk about him. I don't want to mention him. As a matter of fact, on your network, we don't even want that kind of energy over here. He's no good for the culture.
I got you. Moving right along. Now, TD Jakes, what do you think about him stepping down right now and moving on, getting off the scene? What do you think?
He the sharpest tack in the room right now. Put him in a wall, honey, on top of a picture, and he gonna hold it up. TD Jakes is doing his big one. You hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised at how he's moving. I don't know this man. I don't know his background. So if he does have victims out there, I'm sorry that you went through what you went through, but he is handling this particular situation with the utmost grace.
Absolutely. And I think, and I keep telling folks, I think that he's exiting now so that he can concentrate on this case and these cases because they're definitely going to demand a lot of his time and energy. And I would, and he may have some other projects that he's working on as well. And I think on some level too, Leah, he might have wanted to exit the scene because these ninjas just done cost this man a $1 billion deal.
Well, that and now that the lawsuit actually has some traction and is swinging in his way, they might have to actually pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they cost him some money, and if you don't agree with that, I promise you guys they did, and so yeah, but I definitely want folks to understand and recognize that I'm just not in the same space that I was. I know people want me to just get on here and bash the man, and when he does something stupid or say something stupid, I'll treat him just like I treat the other vloggers who say stupid stuff. I just go do my commentary and move right on. Uh, that's
But
just it.
again, like you said, he's fighting for his reputation as well. He's smart. That was if you're going to come up against a giant like that, you have to be very calculated. And this man is his team of lawyers. I'm not going to give him the credit because it's not TD Jakes because he's not doing any work. But his lawyers, they are handling business. And
Right.
it's about to get real. If this thing goes to trial, hopefully the judge does a different type of order and it doesn't go to trial. But if this thing go to trial, somebody gonna be getting dragged by the back of a truck or a wagon
Oh
on
yes.
top of rocks.
All their secrets are coming out, and I think some of their financial records are going to come out. And if their financial records come out, I think somebody from the IRS is going to be sitting in the courtroom and they're going to be taking notes.
Baby.
Because let me tell you something. That's how that works. When the trial starts, Somebody be in the courtroom taking notes to go on to the IRS. Tasha Global, you are on the platform. You have the floor.
Hey
Welcome to
sis.
Matrices.
Hi Tasha. Don't drag me too hard, daughter.
I think she's trying to unmute herself. Uh-oh, she left us. She'll be back.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Jake's is smart. It doesn't at this point in the game, he took advantage of a major deficit on
mm,
the other side. The fact that when you know you have issues in your background, the first thing you do when you want to go for a job is you disclose those issues so that
correct.
you can appear trustworthy. You came on and tried to play the victim when you created multiple victims.
Mm,
And then you went up against not just America's favorite bishop, but the world's favorite bishop.
right.
He's likened to Snoop Dogg. He's a part of a P. Diddy whole plot and takedown, but never got took down.
Right.
Come on, you guys. We got to do better. And then he's an African American man. He's a black man. Why are we so gung ho about making sure that this man is proven to be something he just might not be what y'all say he is? I don't know.
Absolutely. What's up, Tasha Global? You had to go change that avatar so I could see all that pretty black skin. That's what you did. I see what you're doing.
Hey,
I
girl.
see what you're doing. You're trying to be a distraction. Go ahead.
No, I no, you know what I did? I had to come out and use the actual I'm on the StreamYard app. I don't know if you guys know that there's a StreamYard app.
Yes.
And so my StreamYard app has a different avatar than going through the actual link. So
Well, I like this avatar. Go ahead.
thank you.
You're
Well, I
very
just want to
welcome.
Yeah,
say
you cute, sis.
good evening to everybody. Hello, Leah. Hello, Marcellus. This is such a very thought-provoking conversation. And I'm actually very happy for Bishop T.D. Jakes. Um, just like you, I don't dislike Bishop T.D. Jakes. I have also done commentary on him throughout, I think, the past 2 years about the things that have come out. But despite all of that, when we as a people, especially us within the Black diaspora, we have to recognize those who are going to go down in history.
Absolutely.
And T.D. Jakes will be in the history books as one of the most prolific and profound Black preachers of this generation. And
Mm,
so when he has now passed the torch to his daughter, what I felt prophetically was that everybody in the Black church should have taken this today as a prophetic moment because it is the end of an era.
yes.
It is the end of the era of, for me, the 90s when crusades and conferences packed out large stadiums and we had to show up with our stockings on and we had to make sure that we were under the protocols and it was the true church, Black church experience. And not that, those experiences are totally gone, but as
Mm,
we know it, that era has come to an end. And now we have his daughter, Sarah Jakes, is speaking to a generation of people that she has been equipped for their sound and their culture. And that
mm,
was made evident to me when she did the interview on the Breakfast Club, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. And so she's been prepared for this assignment. It's the beginning of a new era and generation for the Jake's legacy. And what I also want to say is that we as a people have to recognize when change is here. We have to embrace the change. And that
right.
has also given me the notification that some of the changes that I have made, even with the way I view church culture, it is in alignment because I'm now out here on social media. I'm no longer in the brick and mortar four walls church, which was a very hard change for me.
Right.
And so I like this conversation tonight.
Mm.
Very
And this
powerful.
conversation likes you, Tasha Global. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Tasha, you bring up a really valid point that we haven't even really dove into yet, which is typically in the African American church, our black men die out from stress or suicide, or they walk away, or they literally die in the position, literally
Absolutely.
to where they're dying in the pulpit, which is absolutely asinine. But anyway,
That's true though.
yeah, they literally die in the position, 90 years old, still pastoring the church or being a
Ugh,
bishop is crazy work. I think that he did the smartest thing he could ever do, which is condition the people not to leave and let his daughter handle the pulpit for the last 2 years. Ain't
mm,
nobody, they keep saying that people gonna leave. Ain't nobody going nowhere. The stardom is still there. She is now walking in her father's shoes, from writing books to appearing on the Breakfast Club. I'm sure she's got her hands in the movies and the entertainment industry and everything else. She's going to be just as big as her father. She's a completely different style, which is great. We don't need a number two. We
right.
just need
I just
the
don't need her to
legacy.
pull her wig off no more while she preaching.
She didn't pull it off, it was sliding
It
off.
was sliding, but straighten it up. I just couldn't take that. Y'all pray for me. I was like, please put
She
that
didn't really
wig
have
back
a
on.
choice. Her frontal was slipping. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's a great point. And
Mm,
I'm glad that he kept the legacy within the family. And out of all
right.
his children, he chose the one that was most
Well,
capable.
this is America. What else was he gonna do?
You never know. People do the
But,
darndest thing.
how many preachers in America actually turn their churches over to somebody that's they're not related to? The only one that I've seen do this as of late is Henry Fernandez down there in Florida.
Mm.
Henry Fernandez, I take my hat off to Henry. Henry gave the church over to a whole man that wasn't even his relative, but he followed what he felt like God wanted him to do. And that to me deserves a nod because that's what he did.
I'm trying to think. I watched a program. I don't know Ivy Hilliard's organization well
Oh
enough
Lord.
to name.
Oh Lord. You're not
Well,
about to
just
bring these
no,
folks.
not him. It
Oh,
was
okay.
a bishop in that organization, because they make their bishops choose a successor after 20, and then they have to emeritize at 33 years. And this bishop gave it to an adopted son, nobody in his bloodline though.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
stuff like that I'm okay with. What I'm saying, and to Tasha's point is, I can't really give articulation at this point because the Lord really hasn't given me the words to put it and bring to you guys yet. But I think she's correct when she talks about the fact of an ending of an era, because we have definitely stepped into something else and we're into a transition. Everybody else is trying to call it a rebranding. It ain't no rebranding. That we are in the middle of transition. And you know what I've been talking to God about as of late, you guys? Have you ever been in a space in your life when everything is going okay? You're okay. You're not in a bad spot, or everything is good, but you still have a sense of uneasiness and nervousness, but you're in a good space that God has blessed you, and you're in a good space, but you still have a lot of apprehension. So you're afraid to move one way or the other. But you have some apprehension because you're doing well, but you don't want to overstep. You don't want to misstep and do something that God isn't with or isn't for. And so you're just in like a holding pattern, literally. And I think kind of where we are right now in this particular space and time is we're going through a transition period, and it's somewhat like a holding pattern. Some of you're doing good, things ain't bad for you, but you like, man, what's tomorrow going to bring? You so nervous about tomorrow. And I talked to y'all about this a couple of weeks ago, a couple of videos ago. You're gonna have to go. You guys got to pray, and you got to get your prayer life together. You're gonna have to talk to God. That's the only advice I can give you right now, because I ain't got nothing else. 'Cause I'm still waiting on a word from the Lord for myself. That's all I can say for now. Go ahead,
You,
Tasha.
one thing I wanted to explain on here. Well, give some commentary on what you mentioned earlier about people who don't know you, but they're judging you and criticizing you. For me, I have recognized that as spiritually immature behavior and not recognizing The sons of Issachar said we must know the times and the seasons that we are in. And the reason we are supposed to do that is because God is now raising up people to have platforms such as this, because there are so many people who have left the church institution and they don't have anywhere to go. And so when they come on places, platforms like YouTube, they're finding their safe space, or they're finding their mad church disease, and they're finding platforms that have the sound, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So my point is, if you are a content creator, you are a steward over an environment that God has entrusted you. And there are people who do not recognize that, and they are weaponizing the platforms which God has potentially given them to influence and encourage people to tear down others who are on their assignments. So I want to admonish everyone to please be careful of who you're listening to, and to make sure that your ears are in tuned with those voices that are focused on their assignment and not on tearing down other people. Just like you wouldn't go to a physical church building and listen to someone tear another person down all day, please have that same mindset when you come here on these YouTube platforms, because what you hear is going to flourish, and what you don't listen to, it's going to neglect and die. So I just want to say, Marcellus, thank you for being, number one, sort of like a mentor to me, and I'm just openly saying this. I watch how you manage your platform, how you produce content, and you have been responsible and integral with your content. And even those who come over here, it has been a tremendous blessing to me. So I just wanted to say that tonight. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, because you've definitely been a blessing to me, Tasha, and I give you all credit for changing my mindset. You and Dawson Speaks, and I don't think you even, I don't know if you know who Dawson Speaks is, but at the beginning part of this year, it was you and Dawson Speaks that sort of shifted my mindset. And I was like, oh, you know what? I said, Tasha's right. And then after you, Tasha, after you said what you said, then here come Dawson Speaks. And Dawson said to me, he said, Marcellus, I want you this year to focus and to protect your peace at all costs. So my focus has been to protect my peace. Yeah, I say what I say, but and I promise you guys, God is my solemn witness. I don't watch these people. Now some of my moderators and the people who are around me, they do watch, but I'm just gonna say I don't watch these people. I can say in full honesty and integrity, I don't watch them. Now, every now and then I will skip over there to see old William McCray do some old foolishness. But for the most part, I haven't even been going over there. I've been really staying to myself and protecting my peace. Now, when I get off of here tonight, you all, I'm going to find me a good movie. I'm going to find something to do. And I promise you, I'm not thinking about those vloggers. I don't think about those people. And God had to prepare me for this space and place that I'm in. When I tell y'all I learned a lot through that Daryl Moore situation, let me tell y'all something. What I saw Daryl Moore go through, I never want to go through in my whole life. uh and I know a lot of people get upset with me, some of y'all be mad because I be, yeah, telling y'all need to pay attention and stop judging Daryl the way y'all do. All of us have our silly moments, all of us have our goofy moments, we all do, we're all adults around here. But to judge some person on something that you don't really fully understand why the person is doing what they're doing, that's just not fair. I talk to Daryl every single day. You don't understand. I've known Daryl since December of 2019. There are very few days that pass by that I don't hear or talk to Daryl Moore. Daryl Moore is not what you think. Understand something. Daryl Moore is a man who has his children, who pretty much raises his boys, gets his boys to school, not only gets his boys to school, but got his sons into college. He's not raising dummies. Daryl raised men, college educated men. You understand something? This is a black man, a college educated black man who's raising black sons who are putting these black sons through college, and you want to come over here and tell me that Daryl is this, that, and the other, and then you get mad at me when I don't agree with you. I talk to Daryl every day. I know what kind of person Daryl Moore is. Daryl wasn't going just after Larry to be going after Larry. Daryl did what he did because of the situation, how that situation transpired. And if you want to know the truth, Larry started it. I'm just going to be honest. And I know we're not children and we can't just say he started it, but let me just tell you, Larry started it. Larry started it. And he got mad because the rabbit got the gun. And when the rabbit got the gun, let me tell you something, that Daryl Moore's gun was blazing hot and it was firing so many bullets, but the bullets was landing on them targets and Larry was pew, pew. And he couldn't take it. But I'm just telling y'all, not to go off to another rant. I'm just saying, God bless you, Tasha Global and Leah.
Okay. I just want to say something really
Go
quickly.
right ahead, ma'am.
So, to what she said, this is not a but, this is an and or adding to.
I got you.
Psalms 1 says, Blessed is man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinner, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, for his delight is in the law of the Lord, his law doth he meditate day and night.
Amen.
I don't want to go through the whole script chapter because it's actually really, really good. But the last part of that says that the Lord knows the way of the righteous, and
Mm-hmm.
the pathway of the ungodly shall perish.
Amen.
At the end of the day, no matter where you stand when it becomes wheat and tare, doesn't matter if you're the tare or you're the wheat, we all have a path. We're all walking together currently. And when God begins to separate and show you things, it is important for you to do what the Bible says, which is give ear to my law, incline your ears to the words of my mouth. God says that for a reason, and his sheep know his voice.
And a
So,
stranger they will not follow.
and they will not follow.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, definitely be careful of your consumption. But as you're consuming things, make sure that you are staying a part of the wheat and not the tare. And when you find yourself becoming what it is that you think is the negative, do the work to help yourself get back on track.
Right.
And don't sit in that seat. A lot of people like to sit in the seat of the ungodly because over there, it's a lot of fun. It's messy. It's fast paced.
Amen.
It got you can do all the things that you love to do, your vices. You can take advantage of those things. You can get into your kinks. And I don't mean just sexually. I mean, some people are like messy to the point where they get a high talking about other people and they get a
They
high
absolutely do.
bringing other people down.
They absolutely do.
And my last statement, just like I said, I'm just adding to, is in this season, we need to get off of sexuality and all that. Not that it doesn't need to be addressed or whatever, but we need to talk about the things that are really deep rooted in our community, which is the witchcraft and the warfare of manipulation.
Absolutely.
Manipulation and iniquity is running rampant. And that's why people like Tasha Glover can say what she's saying, because there's so many people who are wicked in their hearts, and you don't know
Right.
the heart of a man. You
Right.
don't know that. Only God knows that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm
Absolutely.
done. I won't preach too much, y'all.
No, no, that's good. That's good. That's good. And that's one of the reasons why you guys hear me a lot talk about having an angry undercurrent and what strife actually is. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm joking, but I'm truthful. I'll never look at an owl the same way again. This EJ and Lofi thing done disturbed me. So listen here. I'll
I
never
told
look
y'all
at an
every
owl
time
the
he say
same.
that, I'm gonna do it. Ooh,
I ain't lying. I never look at an owl the same way again. But I can honestly tell you guys, I'm in transition. I think we're all in transition. We're not able to give articulation to it. And when Tasha says it's the end of an era, that's 1000% correct. And I really feel that. And I think I need two of you all to still send $10, by the way, and we'll met our budget. But let me just tell you, I love the Lord and I love you guys. And I just have these conversations and I'm comfortable being me. And when I stand before God and I have to give an account for my stuff, which I think is, I think the way we talk about that also needs to be adjusted, but we'll have that conversation another day in time. But just so you understand, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, God's going to get his glory and we're going to be able to tell the story. And at the end of the day, we're going to be, hopefully we'll be able to hear him say, servant, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon, and make sure you press all notifications so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we'd love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button or somewhere around here, so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives, because we've got some sipping chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.